and potentially the offensive coordinator position simultaneously. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The drama builds.
Good morning, everybody.
That was dramatic.
Right?
I felt
You felt
it.
that? Oh, man. Like,
I don't know if that was drama or gas.
I've been
but
setting
I
that
felt
up.
something.
I've been setting it up for months, Rob.
Oh.
Everybody's used to, like, when I come in and say good morning and then I didn't. It's like, oh, did he die? It's
Well,
possible.
see, was the camera on?
Yeah.
No.
Could they see what was going on before he
No.
dove in?
No.
Okay.
No,
Then
it
that
like
was
this.
building drama. Oh, so there was.
Yeah.
It was like that.
So well, if you could see what was going on, there was no drama.
Oh, there was drama. But,
But if you didn't, you'd think it was rather dramatic.
yeah.
The theater of the mind.
That's what radio is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We're putting on a performance.
That's why I keep telling my wife, this is all a performance.
Of course it is.
This isn't what I really think.
I'm an actor.
This isn't. That's not me.
Yeah.
What I said about you. That's another dude.
That's a
Don't hold that against
right.
me.
Yeah. If you think that's real, I
And
don't know what to tell
that lasted about a year. Back in that went away. I'd say 99.
Rob, I want you to imagine now that you were the kind of person who did a show where you had naked women in your studio all the time, and convincing your wife that, like,
dude,
babe,
we came up in radio.
I'm not even looking at those.
We came
okay?
up in radio at the same time. I used to do a segment where it was a kind of a Where's Waldo segment, where I would go to any one of the 4 local gentlemen's establishments and describe what I was looking at.
Yeah.
And you had to figure out where I was.
Yeah.
And then if you come and found me, I would have like cash in my front pocket or something strange. So, and that was kind of a weekly event. So every week I'd be in a different club and I'd come home smelling like peaches and covered in glitter.
Yeah.
And it was for work.
Yeah. There were years where I got paid to go watch Monday Night Football at a strip club.
Yeah. It's work, honey.
And on top of my payment, I forget what the club is called now.
Is this in Houston?
This was in Austin.
Oh.
There was
Austin, you guys up in Austin, you guys got a weird sex scene, man. You guys go a little bit further up the street.
Austin's
than
a
we do.
weird place.
Yeah, man, it is a little different.
There was a play. I think it's the Hustler Club now in Austin, but at the time it was called Joy of Austin. And the deal at Joy of Austin was like we'd always give away, like somebody that week would win 400 Joy Bucks, they called them. And Joy Bucks were basically, you could use them on lap dances. You could use them on whatever you wanted.
There's no sex in the champagne room.
Was it next to JJ, King of Beepers?
This was
right next to Chico's bail bonds.
Yeah.
So I would go watch Monday Night Football. I'd get paid to go watch Monday Night Football. I'd get a free buffet.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
And every night that I went there, I also, on top of the money and the free buffet, I got 1,000 Joy Bucks every Monday.
Wow.
And explaining to my wife, well, she was, even when we were just dating, like, but also while she was like, our first year of marriage where she was pregnant, it wasn't her favorite part of my job. I can tell you
and
that.
My wife was the same thing, pregnant.
Is that why your son looks like your twin? Because he just hated you. Like,
yeah.
Anyway,
but
I've matured.
No, well, yeah, I've not, but yeah, I've.
I don't do things like that anymore.
I don't now, and
unless under extreme duress.
Unless
but I would like to mention to any gentleman's club proprietors, it does move business.
Oh yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And for the low price of 1,000 Joy Bucks per Monday.
And you know how many Joy Bucks it costs? You know what a Joy Buck is equal to.
Oh.
So what, are we going to have Huddle Bucks now?
Well, there's
Huddle Bucks.
And,
Yeah.
it's 17 Huddle Bucks to 1,000 Joy Bucks.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
a Huddle Buck's worth a lot more.
Dude, let me tell you, I'm guessing the price of business has gone up at these things because that was back when you could get
I don't want to know how much a handy cost in Joy Bucks.
I wasn't going to go there.
No.
But you could get like a full-blown
Don't go
lap
that either.
dance
I don't
for,
want to know that either.
You get a 2-song table dance for 40 Joy Bucks.
And you had 1,000?
But was it like
1,000 per week?
Which was the lap dance coming from the main stage or one of the side stages?
It was
where the
whoever you
lighting
wanted,
wasn't
dude.
Quite as good.
Rob,
Okay.
and that's the thing, Rob. They
Like,
wanted me to have
was
such
there-
a good time
Was there
because,
pricing? Oh, I know. I know what you're doing, but
and I'd bring my boys with me.
Was
and
this the
dude,
A
my boys
squad?
were.
that's what I'm trying to say. When we did this, we drove a crowd. We
Now,
moved the business.
The A squad is likely not going to be there on Monday night.
And
That's
Let's face it. Like there's
So you
Friday,
were-
Saturday, but it's not like it's daytimers either. Like these were, this was nighttime, and this was an upscale club.
Okay.
classy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so you had a
Classy
classy
Yeah.
C squad.
Oh
then.
yeah.
I know an attorney. His very first job out of law school, he went to work with a firm out in Houston. Well, not a firm, a lawyer out in Houston. This is back when the breast implant lawsuits were big.
Yep.
The what was it? Silicone was
Yeah,
leaking
yeah.
all over stuff.
Yeah.
Well, his very first job out of law school, he went and would go like hang out and get a hotel close to like Rick's and all those
Yeah.
high end spots, and interview all of the dancers and take pictures of the problems that silicone had caused over the years. And for like hours a day, he was looking at boobs, like hours, like interviewing. Like they're showing the issues.
Yeah.
So he'd come back and he'd show me the pictures. He's like, "You're not going to believe the week I had."
I remember when my wife finally put her foot down about something. I was doing a segment where we had a listener who was special needs. And I worked in an era of radio where you used a different word, and we don't use that word now because that's a slur in today's world. But this is a time when it was basically acceptable to use that word. And
What's the word we can use now?
special needs.
Special.
I think, right? We can say that.
Challenged, handy capable,
Handy capable. Yeah.
short bus.
Um
Depends.
Are we close? Is that bad? Short bus.
I don't think
Is
that's
that a question
acceptable.
you can answer?
I don't
Ask?
think that's acceptable.
Like if I don't know your pronoun, what's your pronoun, or did you ride the short bus? Is that an acceptable question to ask? Anyway.
I took this listener, and you'd be surprised how many of those challenged listeners are really into sports radio, and it's a very high percentage of that population loves sports talk radio, which was great for me because
as long as I got a meter.
because
And I'm speaking to all of you out there that do have meters. Thank you.
and trust me, I wanted you on the air with me.
Yes.
It's like, hey, you come
Go to
on
dinner with us.
If you're out there and there's those
God
people
bless you.
and if there's small people who listen, I'm like, I want you tell me, you let me know, I'm gonna make you a star. That was my mindset back then. Well, this guy was in his 50s and I got him to admit to me that he'd never seen boobies before. He lived with his mom, and I said, you know what, Bubba? We are going to the Yellow Rose, and you are going to see boobies. And I interviewed him while he got a lap dance, the first time he ever saw boobies in his whole life.
Wow.
And
It's kind of like a National Geographic special.
my wife was
The
there.
subject at hand seems quite aroused.
My wife was there with me, and I remember the time when we left. She's like, I need you to really think about what you are doing with your life right now. Because I was like, literally, I've got a microphone. I'm sitting right next to this guy who's got a stripper on his lap, and she's, banging off his face. And I'm like, how you feeling right now? He's like, yes. And I'm like, is this a great day for you? Yes. And I mean, he's just so excited.
Nice.
And you wonder why we can't do that anymore.
And then on the way home that night, my wife was like,
yeah,
you need to really
cringed.
think about like how serious are you about your life?
And look where it brought you.
And here I am now.
There you have it. And you changed your ways just like that.
And it led me.
When you came to the fork in the road.
I took the high road.
You took the high road.
The road less traveled, Rob.
And there are low roads.
I took the
And
road
there are
less
roads
traveled.
less traveled, and there are better fences. And you chose this one. Yeah. And I'm not saying it was good or bad.
Hey, good.
In hindsight,
we're glad you're here.
Yeah.
But sometimes the squeeze ain't worth the cut.
Yeah, you're right, man.
But we're here. And here
That's
we sit.
true. Adult Video Megaplex, when they sponsor me, they would bring a box of stuff by every week, Rob.
See, I drew the line there.
I had more stuff than I knew what to do with.
I wouldn't. Now, there was, on this very station, there was a host, one of the three, she no longer is in this market, that would go to the Adult Megaplex and test there.
Oh.
And give reviews?
And give reviews.
Yeah. Oh, that was our whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was battery versus
I can
rechargeable?
tell you honestly, I have never been in an adult toy stop.
Oh,
In your whole life?
Never. I've never had occasion to be in one.
Oh, I have. Certainly.
Oh, yeah, we have.
I mean, I've been through
I'll tell you
clubs that had them in there, but I've never actually been in one for a purpose.
Oh,
I mean,
I did.
I feel like I haven't lived a sheltered life, but I've
No.
never had an occasion to be in and go buy something in there.
You know, Vic, you know what's different about us than Rob?
What?
We were active duty military.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I was a weekend warrior.
Rob didn't live that life.
No, I did not.
Oh, no. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, when I was
Rob didn't know lonely.
No.
Yeah. Hey, my first shop.
I've known lonely. But
my first shop was in California, and it was like, you got to be kidding
But
me.
I did
they
do.
sell
I went
this?
through a year of basic and tech. I mean, I did. I mean, I was gone for a long time, but not to. And I do recall military dorm life.
Uh-huh.
And I walked in. I had like 3 different roommates. I walked in on all 3 of them.
Alone or
no, alone.
Oh, okay.
All 3 of them. Like, dude.
God.
And it was different dudes, different times of day, and I walked in on all 3 of them.
I had my roommate.
Whacking it.
My roommate that I had for the longest. I had a handful through my time in the Army. One of them was a dude named Omar Valenzuela. El Guapo.
Muy guapo.
Dude, he banged our platoon sergeant's daughter.
Oh, no.
That's a foolhardy move.
And my platoon sergeant wanted him to marry her.
Well,
Oh, yeah. Too late.
Yeah,
You married.
But, dude, it was.
that is such an Army thing.
He was constantly getting laid.
No.
Constantly.
Gotta
And
keep in mind, this was Air Force tech school.
some nights it was like, wow, man, that's that was the thing about him. He did not discriminate. Like, sex was sex. And
yeah, I know.
and he now the girls that he could pull were elite, but if he happened to go out
Every
and
now
what he
and then there was
found
a
wasn't
5 in
elite,
the crowd. Every now
he's
and then
like,
you pull a 4, you know.
hey, I
They can't all be 5-pound basses.
didn't hit 10, didn't hit 9. I'm gonna
Every
go
now
home.
and then you pull a perch, you know what I
I'm gonna
mean?
pull a 4 tonight, and I'm gonna make the most
You
of
do
it.
what you do.
And
Or dogfish.
but if that dude wanted to get laid, he got laid.
Wow.
And
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the solo act and the stacks of magazines that passed from dorm room to dorm room.
Oh,
See, you lived in the magazine era.
yeah.
I was in the I actually crossed over from the VHS into the DVD
Oh, we
era
had
while I
VHS.
was in the military.
We had VHS, but nah.
magazine. Those
Yeah,
are like
VHS was big.
that's biohazardous material.
Oh,
Those have
God.
been used like you.
By
you
the
don't-
time it made it down the hall, you didn't want
I
the
ain't
ones
messing
that
with somebody
came back
else's
the other side.
magazine.
No, you didn't want to. But some of them were good. Some of them you used more than others.
yeah, but that's what you want.
Well,
like,
everybody's got their own kink.
that's
you know what
the
I mean? So
problem
everybody-
is
there's some magazines that gravitated
the
to
best
some rooms.
the best
Others
magazines
went to other places.
The best quality magazines are probably the most used ones, which make you want them the least.
Again,
so
everybody has their own thing.
I would be like, okay, what's the worst thing? What are you guys out on totally? Give me that magazine.
Yeah.
That's clean,
What
at
are you
least.
not into?
At least give me the
that
magazine
one.
that no one else wants.
There we go.
No, there's some
And I
things.
think in
I'll make
hindsight,
it work.
In hindsight, that's what Omar Valenzuela was looking for. Hey,
See?
you guys give me a chick that nobody else wants. I'm going to
Sadly.
take care of it. What a man. What a man.
He wins the 4x4 award.
What a man. All right. That's enough talk.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know.
This show is in the
room
gutter.
Conversation.
This show is in the gutter.
I know. We took a big
It
exit
really
here.
is. We should be focusing on the important stuff, like A&M
Seriously.
stealing a game late.
Aggie with a big
Dude,
victory.
I didn't sleep at all last night.
I was so excited about the Aggie win that I was like, I'm staying up all night, Bubba.
Me too. I'm going to stay up all night and celebrate.
You know, Rob said it. Rob had a personal best yesterday.
I did. I had
a
personal best yesterday.
We'll discuss that next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your early morning commute, we are in good shape. No major incidents going on. All our major freeway systems are rolling at posted speeds. Now, we do have that ongoing road work downtown on 35 upper level. Southbound, that connector to get onto westbound I-10. The connector ramp reduced to 1 lane. 37 northbound, South 10, far southeast side of town, getting reports of a wreck. Also, an accident at the intersection of Applewhite Road at South Sonora South Side. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
George gets justice.
At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, we are the ones you can trust. With over 100 years of combined experience, we are committed to helping people in our local community. Get George Salinas Injury Lawyers and put our experience to work for you and your case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
On Super Sunday, you could be the crunch time hero. PorkRinds.com is bringing you a game-changing twist to your big day because it's also Pork Rind Appreciation Day. The crispy, crunchy, crave-worthy snack you love deserves its moment. PorkRinds.com is celebrating by giving you a chance to win tickets to the 2026 big game in Santa Clara. Enter at PorkRinds.com and become your own crunch time hero. This Super Sunday, make sure your snack game is on point. Celebrate Pork Rind Appreciation Day. Get in on the action at PorkRinds.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
My name is Jessica. Years ago, I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition. I slept all the time, was fatigued, had no energy, and a bad attitude. Now I've lost 50 pounds and I'm still losing. My medications have been scaled back, my emotions are stable, and I have lots of energy. People at work say I'm happy, perky, and my husband says he's not walking on eggshells around me any longer. The Institute for Functional Health changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, we have a little Spurs matinee out in Paris. Wee wee.
A bit of a Spurs post-game show on The Blitz this afternoon, plus talking some baseball.
Yeah, and we've got a hometown hero who now pitches for the Astros. Forrest Whitley will join us at 4:30.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
I'm not going to say I was out all night playing cards over at SA Card House, but
I'm not going to say that either.
It was a late night. I ain't going to lie.
Well, all night is a relative term.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Let's say I ate orange chicken for breakfast. That's probably a good way to put it.
Orange chicken?
Yeah. No, it's not what you'd expect to eat for breakfast.
Well, no. I mean, no, it's more about the source. It's not about the food itself.
Dude, let me tell you. Every time I'm at SA Card House, I'm like, I'm going to eat something new.
Oh, so you got it from, what's the name of the restaurant?
Foster's
Bar
and
and
Grill.
Foster's made it for you there. I got
Dude,
you. I thought
I'm telling you, they
in the middle of the night.
You know how I always bitch about San Antonio not having good Chinese food?
Okay.
These guys, they do an orange chicken. They do a shrimp fried rice. They're like, I always say I'm going to try some new stuff on their menu, and then I always think, oh man, their Chinese food is so good, and I always end up getting it. And so it is. I'm telling you.
It's the orange chicken. I don't care how good it is. I'm not going to like it.
What?
I'm not. I'm.
You're crazy.
I know.
But you don't
like the shrimp fried rice.
You don't go for Chinese food.
No, it's not my choice. I like it when I get it. But what I don't like is things that are sweet when they're not supposed to be or shouldn't be. Like a sweet chicken nugget does not do anything for me.
No,
this is like sweet and sour sauce.
No, I don't.
See, the orange chicken's not sweet. This is spicy orange chicken.
Oh, see, I've had some that are sweet, like at Panda or whatever.
Yeah,
and I don't. That just.
I say, give me the orange chicken, extra spicy, extra saucy with the fried rice, and
good call.
Chef's kiss. They chop up little jalapenos in my rice.
I'm out.
Oh yeah.
I'm out. I'm not saying it's not good. It's just not. It's just not for me.
No.
I like Asian. I like Thai.
But you just don't go for it.
If we're driving down restaurants, like Rob, pick out one. I'll drive past an Asian restaurant. It just won't be the first one I choose. But if you choose it for me and I walk in, I genuinely thoroughly enjoy what I have.
But see, my family is so beat down by my food habits. It's for when they ask me what do I want, because all they ever want to eat, all they ever want is Tex-Mex or pizza. And they would be happy. My kids would be happy eating Tex-Mex every day for the rest of their lives.
I kind of am in that boat, dude. I legit could do it and not have a problem.
I want if it's my turn, I say we're getting barbecue.
Well, I like that too.
Or we're getting.
Could you eat barbecue every day? I can't, and I love it, but I couldn't do it. I could eat Tex-Mex every day.
I'm telling you, when I did that barbecue tour, It didn't affect. I ate at 5 barbecue places in a day, and then the next day I'd go eat at 3 more.
See, I
didn't bother me a single bit.
And I get it.
I love meat.
It's just too much smoke for me. But
oh no,
I couldn't do it every day. But the funny, I could eat Tex-Mex.
Too much smoke for you.
Well, it's an addition to the other stuff. It's a sum total. That really is the issue. Like, I could eat a hamburger every day. If you told me, Rob, you're now sentenced to have all you could eat for the rest of your life is hamburgers, I'd be, I'll be all right. I'll make it. I can eat the same thing on a regular basis.
I can too.
Unless it's really rich. Like that barbecue it's a weekly thing for me.
Oh, not me.
What about Italian? Could you eat Italian every day?
Rob, I can eat pretty much anything, quite frankly.
See, you're not a good guy because...
What does that mean I'm not a good guy?
No, you're not a good guy to ask this because your eating habits are not of the norm.
They aren't.
You don't eat like normal humans.
So
you're not the right guy to ask these kind of questions.
Sometimes I go a day and I'll just forget to eat.
Yeah, I'm like, dude.
It's wild because I'm a fat person.
Well, I joke. You're a lion. You're a lion because then the next day you'll eat like 8 pounds of beef.
Yeah.
Dude, if I live like that, I'd never leave the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, my body is My body is like it wants what the heart wants what the heart wants.
Yeah.
My body, my
But
gut
don't you
wants
want
what
it more
what
often than once a day?
Not always, no.
Dude, my body, I am well aware if I haven't eaten in 4 hours. There's no
Sometimes
forgetting it.
I'm like a grizzly bear, and I'll just eat a whole lot.
And hibernate?
And then I'll hibernate, and I won't have to eat for 2 days. And
See,
then it's like, then my body will go, hey, man, let's go knock down a gazelle and eat that thing. And
whole thing.
Yeah, and then I'll eat a gazelle, and then I'll go back to sleeping, laying in the sun like a lion, basking with the sun on my belly.
Yeah, those things die at like 4.
Yeah.
Vic, you're a constant eater.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
I ate 5 meals, small meals a day.
Well, both of you are, I mean, you guys love eating so much. You can't even wait for a break. You guys eat on the air.
Yeah. I need the calories.
It's like we've got a 4-hour window where it's like you really can't go that long without.
Not this early, no.
And then not only that, we'll break it into like 14-minute things, and it's like you can't wait 14 minutes for that little
sometimes
4-minute window to
eat. And I'm so engrossed in the conversation, I don't realize I've grabbed something to eat.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this.
Vic will be like, it'll be like, Vic, how you?
And there's no
hold
food.
on.
And anybody who cares, there is no food in the studio.
No.
If anybody's paying any attention, I will state, as a matter of fact, look on the screen. You will see
There's
food.
no food.
Yeah.
Worry not.
See? Look,
No,
nothing.
see, don't show another angle.
Only
Of those angles.
just water.
From what you've seen.
This is water in an approved water vessel.
See, I don't even have an approved vessel.
You better don't show that.
I don't even. That was obvious there.
That's
for a
right.
second.
You better
But
get your
there is-
approved vessel.
Okay, Suits. It's very apparent, right? No food is in the studio as you.
We'll cut that out.
To the best of my knowledge.
Rob's got some food right there.
You
What is
cannot.
that?
Yeah, let's
That's
see.
not food.
There.
Man, this is incriminating. Just get that there. Let's stick to one angle.
Oh, Rob literally has that man purse full of food. You never know what's in that thing.
This thing, no, this is a prop.
I've had multiple people text me
Like, what the hell's on the
who
table?
like, does your co-host carry a purse?
I do.
And
It's
I'm
right
like,
here.
I said it
has
is
my
kind of like
initial.
it's his food.
But we
my
don't say
food
anything.
bag.
Yeah.
It's his food sack.
I
It's
like
he's
it.
like a kangaroo. He's just like, oh, you need some? Let me reach into my food sack. He'll be like, oh, I got.
I'll pull out whatever
You
you
need
want.
a peanut butter sandwich? What do you got here?
Want some goldfish
Hold on,
crackers?
hold
Got
on.
those.
I got those too. You need a Werther's?
Rob's like a
Werther's.
How are you on butterscotch, young man?
Rob's like a mom on her first kid when she still cares.
Oh,
so
dude.
she's always got something like, oh, you need that.
You know what,
I got
AJ?
it.
My life's goal, I'm not kidding. It's something happened to me a long time ago, but my life's goal is to have the proper tool at hand at all times.
Yeah.
It really
Rob
is.
literally he carries a Swiss Army knife.
I have a Swiss Army knife. I have a bag full of every possible cord, wire, screwdriver that I keep in my backpack.
He keeps like a first aid
There's
kit.
something about me that I just want to make sure that whatever tool is, and I might not be able to use the tool, but I got it.
When a mom the first time, were you guys wives the same way? Your first kid, like everything's perfect, they are all prepared, and then by the time the second one comes around, it's like okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I remember,
you learn babies bounce.
When we had our first kid, it was like we had a specific time every night. It was like we're both going to get together and we're going to bathe the baby,
Right. Yeah.
and then like. By the time the second kid was born, it was like
hose him down,
hold him by the foot under the shower,
Hose him
and then
down.
like throw him in throw him in a gunny sack.
That's why the
and
second ones are so different than the first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when we had our third, it was like, just
And by
bathe
that
yourself.
time, you're throwing Cheerios on the floor and take care of.
Yeah.
If you have a problem, find your older brother.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. We got to talk about this Cowboys coaching search.
Is it a search? Because it seems like they're just looking at who's down the hall.
Yeah.
Well, anybody down
They're
the hall
not
want to
looking
interview?
far.
I don't know what's going on, but I will say this. Cowboy fan, you might want to start getting nervous because there's some pieces coming off the board, and it's starting to look like you're not going to upgrade the head coach position, which I was worried when they let McCarthy go. I was like, how many guys? I remember I asked you, how many guys could they hire that would be better than Mike McCarthy? And the list was short, and it's a lot shorter now.
They're all gone.
The one guy I think would be an up or at least a neutral from McCarthy is Brian Flores, and Brian Flores ain't coaching the Dallas Cowboys.
He's going to have anything to do with this.
He's going to have nothing to do with this.
I'll OC.
So we'll talk about what's in store for the Cowboys. Morning Huddle 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your early morning commute, we are in good shape. No major incidents going on. All our major freeway systems are rolling at posted speeds. Now, we do have that ongoing road work downtown on 35 upper level. Southbound, that connector to get onto westbound I-10. The connector ramp reduced to one lane. 37 northbound, Southton, far southeast side of town, getting reports of a wreck. Also, an accident at the intersection of Applewhite Road at South Samora, South Side. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green. Get a golf course quality lawn that's more affordable than you think. Don't wait. Sign up at truegreen.com for 75% off your first service. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. TRUgreen.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star here. Have you played Pick 6 from DraftKings? The playoffs are here and time is running out. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like no one else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. Just select 2 or more players, choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. Pick 6 is available in most states including Texas, Missouri, California, Georgia, and more. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code KTFM. That's code KTFM for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus award is non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promo.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What the hell is this, Vic?
It's just Duran Duran, man. Chill.
Man. I'm sure this goes both ways. This knife cuts both ways.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes when Vic plays music and Rob gets real excited that I'm like,
what the hell is that?
You guys are old.
Yeah.
And then
I have the
there's
45
sometimes
of this,
when Vic plays music that I get excited about, Rob's like, what is wrong with you kids?
The age gap.
Yeah, that's what it's. Rob's like, what are you like?
See, Duran Duran was a chick band. It wasn't a dude
I
band.
hated Duran
so
Duran.
by default, you had to like Duran Duran because any girl you were hitting on certainly did.
Yeah, you had to
so
put
you
up
had
with
to
it.
pretend that you liked it.
See,
no guy liked Duran Duran.
I grew up in an age where if you got caught listening to Duran Duran, you likely to get your ass kicked for that.
Yeah, you got beat up.
You got to keep in mind that it
you
was
listen to
either
Duran Duran, Booger Eater.
Okay, well, keep in mind, in the 80s, the hot dudes were wearing makeup.
That's true. That's true.
So Duran Duran was right down that lane. So we didn't like it. We just had to agree with it because we all wanted to get laid.
Did you have a dangly earring?
Oh, yeah. I had a little lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Shrimp earring.
A shrimp earring?
Yeah.
Like a dangly shrimp?
No, he had the shrimp earring. It was a south side thing.
What is that? What is a shrimp earring?
It's gold and it looks like a shrimp. And it just kind of wraps around the bottom of your ear. It's a
what?
I guarantee you've seen it a
I had a
thousand
shrimp
times.
earring on my left and then a diamond stud on my right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Mine was a lightning bolt, and I thought I was cool.
You had a lightning bolt earring?
I had a
Oh
gold
my God.
lightning bolt.
Were you in White Snake?
No. No, I thought I was in Duran Duran.
Might as well.
Dude, in 1984, I had a gold lightning bolt, and the tips of my hair was frosted blonde.
Oh, man. I had the frosted tips at one point,
Oh,
too.
of course. We all had mullets.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I think I was a little.
We all did.
Now, my son has had a bitchin' mullet.
No, I didn't have the Billy Ray
One of
mullet.
those.
Oh,
Yeah, see, you've seen
what?
the shrimp. Yeah.
You had an earring like that? That's like a grandma earring.
Yeah. No,
Well,
it was
no, see,
small.
now they're grandmas. Back then, they were hot.
Yeah.
Dudes wore those?
Well, no, that was kind of a South Side thing. No, that was a girl's earring. But dudes wore them. I don't know why.
And you wore one of those, and then you wore a stud in the other ear?
Yeah. I had both my ears pierced.
I've lost. Well, I did too, but I've lost respect for you, quite frankly, Vic.
Different time.
It was a different time.
It's funny. I pictured you with that the one on the middle
shrimp,
left.
with the
I
real
thought
shrimp?
that's what you were talking about. I was like,
Oh, this one right here?
I was like, that's a weird thing to have. Like,
Dude, I know you've seen it. That's just what they call it.
What are you, fisherman?
that's what I was
No, it was a
thinking.
live shrimp.
Like, what the hell is that?
I'd go by Landry's every night on the way
shrimp
out.
earring.
Use a fish hook and just clamp one on.
Wow, I can't believe you had one of those. Especially that you went 1-1.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. That is.
Yeah, but he did go to St. Gerard.
Did you have
I was in
mismatched
the Navy.
earrings?
He was in the Navy.
Did you have mismatched earrings?
I only had one earring. I didn't.
Okay.
I never wore two.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't wear it on the right side.
Oh yeah, I remember
Oh,
that
yeah,
growing
remember
up.
that?
It was
Left
either
ear
both
cavalier.
or left only. Both or
Yeah.
left only.
Right.
But yeah, I never had mismatched earrings.
No.
That would,
I moved to Florida, and that's the good beginning of about every story. I moved to Florida, and I decided I'd re-pierce my ear. This is about 10 years ago.
What?
Moved to Florida.
You pierced your ear 10 years ago?
I re-pierced it. Yeah, I did. I had an earring for about 5 years or so.
Oh my
Really?
god.
Yeah. That hole, it's permanently open now, I think.
Well, mine.
Yeah,
like,
mine are permanently
Yeah.
open.
Well, my wife about, I don't know, 5 years ago was like,
I had an earring.
let's see if it's still open, and she like put an earring through my
Yeah.
ear.
It's
Yeah.
still
It
there.
worked, yeah.
Well, this time it's permanent because
It kinda hurt.
it's scarred over, and
Yeah.
then they reopened it, and now it's just there.
It kind of hurt, but it went in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she said.
That's what I was going to
she
say.
said.
There's a lot of times. There's sometimes that's good to hear, and others it's not.
That's what she said.
Other times it's not so good to hear.
All right, Rob.
This feels a lot like the other times it's not so good to hear. Schottenheimer interviewing twice.
Are we? I'm your Cowboy fan. You're the voice of
it's not so much about Schottenheimer because I don't know him. I honestly, the funny thing about this is he's been the OC now for 4 years, and I know what he looks like from a distance, but I have never been in a room with him where he made any kind of difference. He was just in the room, and it's about pecking order and seniority and all that. And whenever he's in the room, normally McCarthy was there and Jones was there and his son was there, so he might be apt to step back. I don't know if he's a great coach. He might very well be the next McVay. I don't know. But it's not about his coaching savvy. There are so many things other than that are required over the next couple of years, and X's and O's are just about the last, quite frankly. And there's just so much that needs to get done behind the scenes that McCarthy was either unable, unwilling, or whatever, that, the things that take to run a massive billion-dollar organization go well beyond just coaching 53 men. And I would assume he knows the game, but there's so much more to that. There's reasons why coaches fail, and it's that other stuff that I can't quantify. I know when I see, and I'm pretty sure Schottenheimer at this point in his career does not have.
When we come back, I'm going to give you some numbers on Schottenheimer that they're probably going to make Cowboy fan groan.
Keep in mind, we saw Chan Gailey.
This might be 2.0. We'll talk about that next. Morning Huddle 94.1.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. The one and only Rich Eisen is on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Now, the Sarlacc is a terrifying creature that was created by attaching a ferocious, sharp, giant fangs to an armadillo named Apita from the Guadalajara Zoo. Okay. He's famous down there. He can beat you at tic-a-tac-a-toe 3 games out of 4. Wow.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. Offer ends soon.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
George Gets Justice.
No amount of money can make up for a life-changing injury. I'm George Salinas, and at George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our team of attorneys will fight to get you the maximum compensation because we prepare and we care. So if you've been injured in an accident, get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George Gets Justice. GetGeorge.com.
Rox Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rox the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rox has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the InBody 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rox know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit Rox RocksDiscountVitamins.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-858-1199. That's 800-858-1199.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
See, this is my genre. You're down with this.
I like this.
This is when he was peeing on the Alamo.
Yeah.
Good old days. Eating bats and whatnot. Not forgetting his name and where the hell he is.
Sharon. It's really kind of unbelievable that show got as popular as it did.
Right?
And you couldn't understand a damn thing he said.
It was a 30-minute advertisement against drugs. But what it was. Like, dude, this is what happens to you after all those years? I don't want that.
What a massive, massive hit that was.
And then his two kids.
Yeah.
Sleprock and who was the fat? Those
Jack,
two goofy kids.
Jack and Kelly.
It was like the Addams Family. It was like Wednesday and Pugsley.
Yeah. Except reversed. Like the girl was shaped like Pugsley and the boy was shaped like Wednesday.
Hey, our son Pugsley's down here chewing on a rat. What's going on with this kid?
No, that's Kelly Osbourne.
No, I'm sorry, that's Kelly.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Is this real?
Oh, man. Rob, Brian Schottenheimer has been an offensive coordinator for 14 years in the NFL.
Wow. He's a lifer. Okay, keep going.
How many times in those 14 years do you think he finished top 10 in total offense?
Well, the question should be, how many times did he not finish last?
So
it's how you frame the question to get the benefit.
14 years, how many times do you think he had a top 10 offense?
Last year was pretty good.
That's one of them for sure. So the answer is more than one.
I'll say 3.
It's 2.
2. All right. Did he do it without Dak ever?
And by the way, last year, which is one of his 2, he wasn't calling the plays. So there's a caveat to that. He was the offensive coordinator in title, like that's what it said on his office door. But on game day, he was just kind of standing around like, yeah, guys, this is fun, right. Cool.
I'd run left.
Good call.
Hey, Coach, I'd run left.
Good call, Coach Mike.
I'm just saying, it was me.
And quite frankly, man, if they end up with this, with Brian Schottenheimer as the head coach, this is an indictment of the way Jerry handled this whole McCarthy thing more than anything. By missing like the first round of interviews, this could not have been handled worse. And like when we said at the time, it was like, dude, how do you let it get to this? The results are going to be like the worst case scenario of what happens. It's like F around and find out. Cowboys fans about to find out.
Well, okay, he's either gone completely mad, which is entirely possible, or there's a method to this madness in his mind. Because, yeah, you're right. This makes absolutely no sense. This feels a little bit like what happened in Houston.
Yeah.
The guy that got hired was hired to be fired. The guy that walked in, what was his name? Tepper?
No, David Culley.
Culley.
Yeah, it's like, it's his first job.
Culley, after a lifer, OC-DC. He
was a lifetime like special teams coordinator. He had no business getting a head coach job.
Who just got a gig because, hey, I'll do anything to put that on my resume because I'm just about done. Well, Shotty's younger than that, but 14 years at this gig, head coaching has come and gone. I mean, he's not a candidate for this job anywhere in professional football. It might be in college he could find a gig, but there's nobody who actively beat down Brian Schottenheimer's door. So that tells me he's hired to be fired. He's hired to be a puppet, or there is a palace coup in play, and he is the alternative to what one guy wants and the other guy wants, and neither one will agree on their other guy. So this is the split in the baby dude.
The thing is, when you hire a coach to be fired, which is a thing, and it happened twice while I was in Houston. You mentioned David Culley. It also happened with the Astros when they hired Bo Porter. Bo Porter was never long for being the manager of the Astros.
I don't even remember Bo Porter.
Bo Porter was the manager of the Astros for 2 years before they hired A.J. Hinch and started to win games.
You want to talk about a footnote.
This was like 2013 and 14. It was the last couple years before the Astros started their run. And they knew, like, why we can't win. Why spend money on a coach? The Texans knew what they were going to be. So it's like, well, we could go out and get a name brand coach, but what's going to be the point? We're going to suck no matter who's coaching this thing.
If that's in fact a possibility, do you think Jerry's capable of that kind of thought process? I'm not trying to be mean, but
this Cowboys roster isn't that.
Do you think he looks at that and goes, why pay?
If he is, that's crazy because you've got to remember how bad those Astros teams were, and you got to remember how bad that Texans team was. We're talking about like the worst rosters in their specific leagues at the time. Whatever you think of the Cowboys right now, and I get there's a frustration level. This team is not the least talented team in the NFL. They're not even like the bottom 5 least talented teams in the NFL. This is a team that's got a roster that, should be relatively competitive.
But see, the problem is we start getting into the average and the median, and they're different things. The Cowboys have a pretty high average because they throw it off with 5 dudes that are or 3 dudes that are about the best at the business at what they're doing. Yeah. And then you start that raises the tide for everybody else. I don't think they're a very deep team, and I think they're imminent for more problems considering the weight of the contracts they're going to have to pay. And if you look down the road, you think it's bad today. Wait till we pay Micah. Wait till we don't have any money. So exactly. I think there's some coaches out there that look at that and go, I'm not going to do that. It's just call me in 2 years when you get out from underneath this, and then we'll talk. So I think there's a problem with that. I think that there is some definite desire to have a lot more control. So let's go find us a puppet. I'm not going to judge Schottenheimer by his skill set of being a head coach. I don't know. I know that his offense, at least last year, worked. This year he was hamstrung, and even then his offense, not his play calling, but his offense by his title and I would hope by design, was capable of getting Cooper Rush a couple of wins. They manufactured over a period of 12 games a running game out of basically nothing. They made the discussion about Rico Dowdle one that needs to be discussed. We're back in the first half of the season. We didn't have a running back on this roster. So there are some qualities to what Schotty did that are worth the interview. But if you're going to tell me that what he did over the last 2 years qualified him like Ben Johnson,
right?
What? It's not even in the same playbook. I mean, they're not even in the same vicinity. He is a leftover. He's a spare now.
If you have been a coordinator for 14 years and never been hired as a head coach, there's a reason why.
Yes, and it's no detriment to being a great offensive coordinator or quarterbacks coach. There's a place for that in the world. But obviously, 13 times you probably interviewed and you weren't even close. No, it's just not in the cards for you,
it's
brother.
Not what you are. And I get it. I know Jerry is relatively, and that's why the Dion thing. Jerry's a cheapskate when it comes to coaches.
Well, that's good. Yes, this is his bank. I mean,
yes.
He doesn't have the Johnson & Johnson money to bank on. He has to make this money. And the thought of, I'm not firing McCarthy last year because I ain't paying a dude not to coach, keep in mind he said and thought that, and I believe it to this day, coaches are extraneous money. You know what I mean? That's the last thing I'm paying as a coach.
It's crazy to think about.
I agree, but I think over the years, he has shown I'm the least of my value in the pie of how much I'm spending on things. Coach is a small piece.
Well, it's because Jerry knows more than the coaches know.
Boom.
Like, he's like, what do I need? Like, I already know what we need to do.
I could do this. I've told you. I've been around this game for 30 years. I know what I'm doing. I don't need to hire a coach.
Why doesn't Jerry just become the head coach?
He could if he was allowed to.
How great would that be?
He would have done it already. I'll do this job.
He can't do that? There's a rule against it?
There's a rule against it. You can't own and coach.
Damn it. I bet back in the day there wasn't that rule.
Well, Paul Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, you needed those kind of guys, but not anymore.
What if Jerry said, okay, Steven is now the primary owner?
Well, do you get the sense that maybe there's the Palace coup might be going on where these two are not on the same page? Like, legit, the owner.
Dude, everything I've heard Jerry say in the last year tells me they're nowhere near that. Jerry still has he's still playing all the cards, and Steven is still walking behind him and knows his place and isn't trying to get in his way and is just trying not to piss him off before he dies.
Now's the reason to have one of those succession meetings where Dad's losing it.
Oh, wow. It seems that way, doesn't it? It seems like it might be like Joe Biden. They needed like, hey, Jerry's going to step back for a little while. Steven's he's going to take the ball from here.
Is this offseason going to be the debate?
Might be. All right, we'll continue this discussion. There's another name being kicked around for the Cowboys. I don't know how much better it is. We'll talk about that next. Morning Huddle 94.1.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast. Freshen up your morning with a Wendy's Breakfast, like a breakfast Baconator, or a grilled sausage breakfast burrito, or even a Honey Buddy. Ready for a fresh wake-up call? Gotta be Wendy's. Available at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
We're on the air with Joe Exotic. Okay, so we get 2 baby tigers. Like, in 6 months, what do they weigh?
About 80, 90 pounds in 6 months.
80, 90 pounds?
They'll start eating a cow week about a year and a half.
Really? Now, if you have a dog that you don't like, do you just throw it in there?
People have been known to feed their husbands to them, so why not a dog?
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
George gets justice.
Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
On Super Sunday, you could be the crunch time hero. PorkRinds.com is bringing you a game-changing twist to your big day because it's also Pork Rind Appreciation Day. The crispy, crunchy, crave-worthy snack you love deserves its moment. PorkRinds.com is celebrating by giving you a chance to win tickets to the 2026 big game in Santa Clara. Enter at PorkRinds.com and become your own crunch time hero. This Super Sunday, make sure your snack game is on point. Celebrate Pork Rind Appreciation Day. Get in on the action at PorkRinds.com.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true.
You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Heads up in the downtown area. I-10 upper level eastbound, the off-ramp to Colorado Street. Well, looks like they just cleared that wreck. 35 northbound connector to 410. That's road work. That connector is partially blocked. And on Loop 410 on the frontage road, westbound at Perrin Vital, this wreck has the right turn only blocked. You guys see something we're not talking about? Call us on the traffic tip line, 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs are 19-22 this season as they take the court in Paris. They hope to snap a 3-game losing streak against the Indiana Pacers. The Dallas Cowboys brought Brian Schottenheimer back in for another 4-hour sweat-out interview. He's reported to be up for both the head coach and potentially the offensive coordinator position simultaneously. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Alrighty. Morning Huddle 94.1, rolling on through the program. Good night at College Hoops. We'll talk some of those games here in a little bit. You got to turn your mic on if you're going to make that stupid noise.
Whoop! It's on. There it is. I was on.
No, you weren't.
Vic was
the one ruining it.
Squelching me, bringing me down.
Keeping you away from making that noise.
That wasn't a very good whoop.
I got news for you.
I got to hump it to whoop.
Rob and I were texting about some college hoops while I was playing cards and watching the games that I had wagered on. And remember yesterday we were talking about Houston and the idea that, man, it's a big number, Houston minus 18 or whatever it was. Houston and Utah played a full basketball game. They played the entirety of the game, all 40 minutes. And the Utah Utes scored 36 points in that basketball game. That's like a junior high game.
I've never seen a team play that badly for that long.
36 points. I texted Rob at one point. I was like, dude, it's 12 minutes in, and they've scored 6 points. Like, this is – it might be a single-digit half of basketball. I mean, it was embarrassingly bad. But what's funny is that wasn't the most embarrassing performance of the night. If you stayed up late, which I happened to, and you watched the University of Miami play, they have so far quit.
I've never. That's the other part of this. This is the worst case scenario when you looked at what's the worst thing that could happen in the NIL era. What's the worst thing that could happen? Miami is the product of that. If it could go wrong, it has.
Let me see.
Upset players, they didn't get enough money, they want to transfer. Incoming freshmen that were ill-equipped and unprepared. A coach that is done with having to pay players that don't deserve it and doesn't want to recruit or take transfers that well. And it all hits at once. So you get stuck with what Baylor was stuck with after a murder, where you're playing walk-ons and dudes that are actively checking the portal, that are actively trying to find another gig while they're there, which means I'm in it for me tonight. I ain't passing the ball. I gotta get something to get me out of here.
At the 17-minute mark of the game, it wasn't even 17. It was the 12-minute mark of the game. I apologize.
You gave him too much credit.
I gave him too much credit. The 12-minute mark of the game, Stanford was up 25-5. Mm-hmm. 5 points in 12 minutes. That's it's clownish.
Well,
and they like those guys. When their coach quit, everybody entered the transfer portal, and you've literally got a bunch of guys on the floor that you probably thought were never going to see the floor.
Walk-ons and dudes that are JUCO superstar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's wild. We'll talk more hoops later on. I want to continue this Cowboys discussion. And the other name I've been reading a lot about, and God, we talk about the idea of, do you want fresh blood or do you want a retread? So the one thing I will say for Brian Schottenheimer is, I guess it's kind of fresh blood. We don't know.
I can't judge on acumen yet. I can just judge on experience right now.
We don't know. He might be a secretly great head coach.
Could be McVay. We never know, but I doubt it.
What about Ron Rivera?
See, for me, let me preface this the right way. I don't want the next coach to be hired to be fired. That's not what I want. I want the next coach to come in knowing that my job is to build a foundation. It's not necessarily about W's and L's, but it kind of is. But my job is to prepare for the long future. So that job requirement precludes a bunch of dudes. I mean, there's a lot of guys that don't want to be hired to be fired, but there are guys like Ron Rivera who's fresh off that, who just did it. And he got fired before the fruits of his labors were apparent. But he set the table for Dan Quinn. He did. One way or another, that team became this by what he did. Now, we can blame him for being there.
Or you can say he left and suddenly they looked viable.
Well, I mean, that's a thing. You can depends on how I describe what happened. So, but the guy has been in the trenches. I say the same thing about Flores. There's sometimes I would ordinarily be furious for a team hiring Flores or Ron Rivera. I want a new blood. But there are some times in some jobs that require skill, that just require a skill set that can only be used or attained by OJT. You have to have done this before, and we don't have time for you to learn. And the good news is you've been in this situation before, and you know exactly why you're here. And if you know that I'm coaching for the next 3 years, and my job is just to right the ship and correct things, it frees you to make some decisions that ordinarily you might not make because you're trying to save your job.
And Claymore says, AJ, Ron Rivera is not fresh blood. That's the point I was making. Like Brian Schottenheimer would be fresh blood. I don't know if that's good because the other side of that coin is Ron Rivera, a guy who I know exactly what he is, and I'm not interested. I don't think Ron Rivera is a good coach. No, I've seen it.
He is right now. Ron Rivera just did the Shawshank. He went through acres of crap. He just dove into the Washington Commanders' mess and came out relatively unscathed. I mean, he took a franchise that was done and oversaw new owners, the extrication of old crap, and got the team prepared. And that's the only way I would say it, to become what they did. Now, he didn't get to benefit by the fruits. He's Mark Jackson with Golden State. He did everything right. He just didn't get to benefit from the decisions he made when he left. That's how I would push it as his agent. Now, Ron Rivera is Riverboat Ron. He's still the dude that lost the thing in Carolina. He's still the dude that gets everybody excited but can't win the big one. He's still that dude. I'm not taking away, but that's the kind of guy the Cowboys kind of need right now.
Ron Rivera is, in the last 8 seasons that he's coached, had one winning season.
But think
and
about
that was in
where
2017.
He was and why he was there. I mean, it wasn't like he landed in great places. He took on jobs a lot of dudes wouldn't take. And he worked for the worst owner in sports in Carolina. The dude that they literally took the team from him because he was buckling in women and talking about hairy legs. He worked for that kind of stuff.
Well, then he went and worked for Dan Snyder.
And then he worked for Snyder. So the dude has been in it.
But, I mean, at some point, don't you, like, it's nice that you're able to hold on to these things, but, like, don't you want somebody who eventually is going to win?
I ain't hiring him for the time when we're winning. There's no winning coming around the corner. Let's not lie to ourselves. There's things that got to be fixed.
In 4 years in Washington, 0 winning seasons, although he did produce one NFC East title the year that they went 7-9. Somehow that, hey, won a division title. I don't think Ron Rivera is an answer, and I like the idea that it's either a guy like Brian Schottenheimer, who's never in 14 years in the NFL has never been a head coach before, and you wonder why this guy's never been there, or a guy who's been a head coach for 14 years and hadn't done anything. Well, I shouldn't say nothing. I mean,
he got a Super Bowl
10 years. Well, he lost in a Super Bowl 10 years ago. Sure, credit where it's due. Guy went to the Super Bowl 10 years ago and lost, but that was 10 years ago. I hadn't done anything of note since. Nothing. And that guy's suddenly, and mind you, he's been a head coach that whole time.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like remember when he got fired from Carolina, it's not like he sat out for 2 years and then was a great DC and worked his way back into favor. No, he got fired by Carolina and immediately was hired by the Washington football team or whatever they were at that point.
There's 3 coaches in the world that the Cowboys could hire that could maintain and improve this team immediately. There's just not many dudes that are in a position to make this team better. This is tread water situation. That's why we're talking to Shoddy. That's why these are the list of names we're at. That's why Witten is a name, and a guy in college who really hadn't done much either, Dion, is a name. The name coaches, the ones that know, look at this team and go, this is years away, brother. You've got yourself a couple of good dudes.
Dude.
But, there's 2 teams from your division playing to go to the Super Bowl.
Jason Witten would be a Jeff Saturday hire.
Well, yes. Yeah, exactly.
You would hire him, and you'd realize very quickly, what the hell have we done?
Well, you look at the Cowboys and go, oh, who am I playing? Oh, by the way, you want to see who you're going to play twice a year? Watch this weekend. Those guys are in your division. Jaden Daniels ain't going nowhere.
Which, by the way, who coaches the Commanders?
Former Cowboy.
Who's the OC for the Philadelphia
Former
Eagles?
Cowboy. I mean, but there's some
what
comfort.
A punch in Jerry's nuts.
Well, there's some comfort in knowledge. They knew what they were doing and what they got into. But it's that very reason why you go talk to a Ron Rivera, because, dude, you're jumping in. It ain't gonna be easy. No matter how good a job you do here, you still got to face Jaden Daniels twice a year. You still got to deal with Philly, who's deeper than any other team in football. You still got to play them twice a year. So even if you do a great job, you're still trying to keep up with the Joneses around the corner. It's not a job that's good. It's not a good job. It's not.
It's not a good job if you don't think Dak can turn back into what Dak was 2 years ago.
And the guy that did it is Shoddy, and that's what Jerry Jones is looking at.
The guy who did it was Mike McCarthy.
Well, it was Shoddy's offense. That's what Jerry's going to tell you.
But Mike McCarthy called those plays.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm coming to you from Jerry's point of view. Hey, I'm talking about the guy's offense.
I want to get back to what we were doing 2 years ago. Well, you fired that guy.
Well, and then we add in the fact that Jerry doesn't want to pay even the best coaches. I mean, he's not going to pay anybody any money. And then he's going to underpay you, and he's going to hamstring you the moment you walk in the door. Say, oh, by the way, that $40 million hit against the quarterback, that $30 million hit we get with our wide receiver, wait till you see what Micah does to the budget.
It's fascinating to me. I mean, the soap opera that is this team.
Welcome to the party, man.
My God.
Welcome to the party.
I keep thinking, why don't you just do
a normal thing? Just act like a normal human.
Why can't you just do the thing that everybody else would do for once? And it's like they just can't do it.
No,
they can't do it.
It just is not in their genes, whether by design or by fault. It's not in it.
It's like he's a mix between Andy Warhol and Andy Kaufman. It's like some sort of it's always got to be. If I'm not different, I'm whatever it is. He's got to do it his way, and it's got to be so obviously his way that sometimes it's other people are like, what the.
Yeah.
What are you doing? But he's like, that's my
genius.
thing.
It is indeed
that's
genius.
my thing.
How you quantify
it? It's a cross between Andy Warhol, Andy Kaufman, and Criss Cross, the band that wore their clothes backward.
Why
do you wear your clothes backwards, friends?
Because you'll ask me about it.
That's our thing.
It makes you ask me about it.
That's what we do.
If you want the clearest picture of Jerry that I've ever seen written, and it's not a favorable by its very title, but go grab the Texas Monthly Edition from January, the Bum Steer Awards,
Mhm.
and read the story of how Jerry became Jerry. And when you read that, then you'll go, well, oh, I didn't realize that he was a huckster and a shyster from the get-go. I thought he was remarkably successful at everything that he had done, and it was the extravagance and his unique idiom that made him so. No, this dude,
he's Jed Clampett.
Yes, he is truly Jed Clampett that married well. His wife had the money, not him. Not him. He married well and then took money from her family after he took it the first time. No, he married well.
It is fascinating to watch, and I like, as someone who's a non-Cowboy fan, I even appreciate it. Like, it's interesting to me to watch
It's a novella, man.
The
it's
madness of it. Yeah, there is a madness to it. It's like, oh, I see why people care, because it's like watching a car wreck. Like you
see it coming.
You're like, oh, this is terrible.
Oh, they're going to crash.
But
yes, they're going to crash.
I'm not going to change the channel.
Yeah. He's going to crash.
Yeah, it's like we know what's coming here, and it's going to be ugly, but I got to see it. I got to see the blood and guts. And you know me, I'm the person who rewatches horrific injuries over and over. Like, I want to see the action.
Well, you're in the right place at the right time.
This is like it's like watching NASCAR, just waiting for something insane to happen. Like, it's boring. Oh my God!
That's the Cowboys. There's going to be blood. There's going to be blood. Hold on tight. Here it comes.
And I got news for you. I've never watched NASCAR and said, oh my God, when someone passed someone and like won the race. That's boring to me. I only say, oh my God, when cars go flipping into the crowd. That's the only thing that interests me. And that's the Cowboys are like the kings of flipping cars into the crowd. That's what
Sanders.
They do.
Oh my God. Jason Witten. Oh my God.
Like, there's not one coach that's been seriously attached to this job that makes me go, oh, that'd be a good hire. I mean, the names that have been mentioned the most are Deion Sanders, Jason Witt, a high school football coach.
The state champion. You have to qualify that.
Sorry, I didn't give him the right credit.
Texas, so that's even like better.
Brian Schottenheimer and Ron Rivera. Those are the four names that I've heard mentioned the most in connection to this job. If you had said make a list of the top 10 coaching candidates in the NFL, not one of those would have been on my list. Not a single one. Yet somehow the Cowboys aren't talking to any of those guys who are on the normal list. They don't want that normal list.
Welcome to the party. They've never done that. Well, I take that back. It has happened one time. Once. And that was Parcells.
Yeah.
There's only one time that Jerry went and hired the right guy at the right time, and even Parcells, after 3 years, went, I can't.
But
I can't.
But was Bill Parcells a good head coach for the Dallas Cowboys?
No. It was the luster was gone. He brought some gravitas. He did, and for a couple of years, he fought the tide. He did everything he could to fight the Jerryness that eventually overwhelms every coach. He did his best to stem the tide, but even Parcells could not stop the ever-going, non-ending flow that is Jerry, that create the stream that creates the Grand Canyon. That's Jerry Jones, and eventually Parcells even had to go, I've had enough. I can't do it.
I also think there's something to the fact that this job is now a job where people know what is involved with it.
They're no longer going, I can change him. If I coached, he'll understand that he can't do this because I know I've been. No, you can't. You're not going to change him.
It ain't.
The process, because his idea of success does not mesh with what your idea of success is. And if it doesn't mesh, if the leader of any company has a vision of the company's outcome that is even slightly different than anybody that works underneath him, it's not going to work. And Jerry has a different idea of what success is.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for the car to flip into the crowd is what it boils down to. Because I think at this point, when I said the day that they announced that Mike McCarthy would not be back, I said, what that tells me is there's going to be someone less qualified than Mike McCarthy to be the head coach of the Cowboys now, and it's almost a certainty that that's going to be the case.
Who would have been? There was never going to be anybody more qualified. There was always going to be a step down. There was no possibility of finding any other coach short of maybe Pete Carroll, who might be the only one alive that would be even remotely in the same room.
I mean, Pete Carroll would make too much sense. Pete Carroll is, I mean, honestly, if they said Pete Carroll, I'd be like, okay.
Well, see, okay, so
Let's
you're already a victim. Pete Carroll is a ridiculous choice.
Oh, my God.
His boat has sailed. This game is over. It is done. But that stream that is Jerry, that after a while you go, you know what? Maybe Pete Carroll ain't the worst possibility.
Rob, after the 4 names I just mentioned, Pete Carroll's the only one who has a history of, like, real success.
Well, yes, but he's 75 ye's old. I mean, it's
let him coach till he dies.
Well,
I don't know.
It's over for him. It's over. Everybody knows. He knows it's over. Now, he'll interview for the gig. You're already a victim of Jerry when you go, you know what, Pete Carroll would be a good option. No, he's not. He's not a good option, but he's the only viable option that's come down the stream that you'll even begin to buy. But other teams weren't interviewing Pete Carroll. You think maybe the Bears did because they interviewed everybody. But do you see the Saints lining up to hire Pete Carroll? No.
It's like you're at an auction, and like the things that have walked out on the stage so far, it's like, oh my God, I wouldn't spend your money on that. And Pete Carroll's at least like the first one. I would go, okay, well if I had to have that in my yard, I guess I could have it.
Even the Saints and the Bears go, no, I don't even want that. I mean, even they, and we as Cowboy fan go, well, maybe Pete Carroll's a better option. That's where we get when you follow Jerry around. He makes you think the worst option is better than other things, so you go with what? And then you look back and go, I don't even know how he even sold that to me.
The Bears and the Jets did a better job in this process than the Cowboys have done.
And they've had more practice.
That should tell you a lot, that those two franchises, those dopey-ass franchises, like lifelong, like kicked-in-the-ball loser franchises.
And like, we're going, Pete Carroll would be a pretty good
running
option.
Circles around you. It's embarrassing.
Well, they have had more practice at it.
We'll be back. It's Morning Huddle 94.1.
I hope you got up this morning and watched yourself clean under a water-softened Connecticut shower. If that was you, carry on about your day, as I like to say. If you don't have a Connecticut water softener, there's things you just get used to. You kind of see that white powder on the dishes and just rub them off when company comes by. And you see that scale that builds up on the bottom of your dog's water dish. You just go rinse it out. It's only the dog, right? And you get used to that dry hair after a while. You go buy a little bit of extra conditioner. You can get used to that. But I'll tell you what you won't get used to is the plumber's bill. That stuff that you're getting on your hair, most of it ended up on your pipes and just sits there and waits and waits and waits until finally a leak happens. It's normally behind a wall, behind a cupboard that involves thousands of dollars of repair just because you didn't take the time to call Connecticut. Well, here's your chance. If you'll dial 656-PURE right now, the Connecticut folks come out and put the kind of water softener you deserve in your home for the next 90 days free of charge to prove to you that that white powder, that's just part of the problem. See, the real problem is the stuff you don't see, that stuff that ruins your refrigerator, that stuff that clouds your ice, the stuff that gets on your hair and on your skin. You don't want that. You can get used to it, but you don't want it. But when you start having to spend money, that's where you need to get into it. Call Connecticut today. Let them prove to you that they can take care of your home, your skin, your dog, and all that, and also get something pretty for you. If you'll buy over the next 90 days, there's a reverse osmosis drinking station. They'll put it on your sink. It'll match your decor. They got a couple of different flavors of that, but you're going to get the thing that I had to pay for just for joining the Connecticut fam. Call 656-PURE today. Go to ConnecticutSA.com for all the details. Go get you a Connecticut. You'll see what I'm talking about, and I'm sure you'll come on by and thank me later.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with autopay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without autopay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas. I absolutely love the Golf Club of Texas. They've made so many improvements to the golf course, from brand new cart paths to resodding the greens and fairways. You might think it's a private club, but it's not. It's open to the public 7 days a week. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is, right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay, where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Yesterday, I talked about how much I despise people from the city of Boston. Rob got home and his son was like,
Dude,
what?
What's AJ's problem?
Your friend over there has an unhealthy hatred for people from Boston. I mean,
I just
I'm
don't.
sure there's good people there.
Boston.
There's good and bad people from Southtown, from all over Boston.
The Southies.
All over.
The townies.
You know, I went to Harvard. I went to MIT. I was never listed on their enrollments, but I went.
Well, you were a plumber.
I got a
you were a janitor, right?
I got a graduation paper from them. Believe me.
I went there. I solved this problem on a blackboard.
I was once working there, and they said no one can solve this problem. And I came up to the board and I solved it while everyone was sleeping, and I walked away. And that's a true story. It's a true story.
Movie star.
A true story. They made a movie about me. Yeah, I don't like people from Boston. I'll never change my tune on that. I've never met anyone who convinced me otherwise. I knew a couple guys. I served with a couple guys in the Army from New England. When I was working offshore on the oil rig, there's a bunch of guys. Like, there's two kinds of people on those rigs when you work offshore. There's oil people, and they're all from Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and then there's ship people, and the ship people are all from Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine. Like the people who grow up as like maritime guys who like
they're on the ferries and
they
on the
run
boats.
the actual boats.
Gotcha.
So they want to their long-term goal, like, so if you're in the oil field and you're going to work forever, your long-term goal is to be like the
foreman.
The foreman or whatever you want to be. Their long-term goal is to be a boat captain. And I don't like those people.
They're old
I don't
salts.
I don't like those people.
After I
I
watched
don't like boat captains.
Well, as a former boat captain on a
I
river
like
in the middle
you.
of
I
downtown.
like you. You're different though.
But I think being
you're not from Boston.
I saw A Perfect Storm, and I feel like I know all boat captains after that.
Yeah.
So I feel like George Clooney was a fine boat captain.
He was.
He was just pushing the limits, AJ, just trying to make a dime.
I think was when Tom Hanks was the boat captain in that movie. Wasn't he from Boston or somewhere around there?
Yeah, he was he was.
He was a Yankee.
He had a bad accent.
Yeah, I remember
I'm
that.
the captain now.
Well, that wasn't Tom Hanks
I know,
who said
but that's
that.
all I can remember.
Captain
I'm the
Phillips
captain
is
now.
the name of the movie.
I interviewed that dude, by the way. That Somalian dude.
Oh yeah.
I interviewed him when we were at the Super Bowl in Minneapolis. He was from. There's a huge Sudanese population in Minneapolis, and
so the actor from Captain Phillips
I'm
was
the
there.
captain now. I interviewed him.
Imagine your whole acting career, people only know that one line from you. Look at me.
Look at me.
Oh, yeah.
I am the captain now.
Yeah.
I had him say it.
Yeah, of course you did.
Of course, yeah.
Go ahead and do it.
Yeah. It's like use the force. It's like, yeah, I said other stuff in that movie.
There is an attitude. There's a Boston attitude that I don't like.
Yeah.
It doesn't. The Boston attitude is not the New York attitude, which I don't particularly appreciate either. And the Philly attitude's even more different, and it's even worse. But you appreciate Philly because it's so bad that they just don't like anything about anybody.
And they kind of accept that they're vile
they
people.
like it. They like the Boston types.
They embrace their
are just the quintessential Bostonite. Yeah, it's a little vile. I'm with you, but they don't pretend to be anything other than that. I'm not totally anti. I'm not totally anti.
All right. Well, you're a better person than I am.
No, I mean, there's nothing redeeming. It's not like there's anything of like I'm not a fan of any sport up there at all.
Oh
I mean,
God, no.
It actually hurts.
Gross. That's the worst. That's the worst. I'd rather New York win championships than Boston.
There's not a college in there. My niece went to Boston U.
Howard Stern went to Boston U.
See, there you go.
Big mistake on his part.
I have no allegiance to any school there.
Oh, I don't either.
I'm not a fan of anybody from there.
I always root for Yale over Harvard.
Sure.
Always. Always.
I think Marvin Hagler, what are you from Brockton, Mass? He was from around there. That was the last time I was a fan of anybody from Boston.
What about Mickey Ward?
Oh, yeah, Irish Mick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Irish Mick. I think that's a I don't think I'm allowed to say that.
I like Mickey Ward until I hear him talk, and then I'm reminded.
He's not Irish. He's Boston.
I don't like you, yeah. Because like when you see him, you're like, oh yeah, he's Irish, and like you expect him to sound like Conor McGregor. Oh yeah, but which by the way, talking like that is almost worse than talking like you're from Boston. But when you watch that movie about the Mickey Ward movie, and you see his sisters talking, it's like that's what I picture everyone in Boston like, and it just makes me sick.
Not attractive, man.
It's like they even
can't talk.
Fresh out of the shower, you smell like an ashtray. Like, just can't get there.
What's the movie with the private? Casey Affleck was the private investigator. There's a kidnapping. Morgan Freeman was in it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And it's the quintessential Boston Southies. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Damn it.
It's a good movie.
Figure out what that movie is.
I don't want to go into it because there's a twist at the end, but that's
there was another one.
But I mean, that movie's been out for like 20
I
years.
know, but still, that wasn't a wide release. I don't think. Maybe it was.
I think that your spoiler alert. We're past that.
Oh,
Corey says regional profiling. I love it.
I'll regionally profile you. Where are you from, Corey? I'll tell you all about you. Just tell me where you're from.
I will say this. That's like the most San Antonio thing that I've noticed is everyone in San Antonio. If you say, "Are you from here?" and someone says yes, the next question is always, "Where'd you go to high school?"
Oh.
Yeah,
and like as soon as you answer that question, they're making judgments and assumptions about you. Like, oh,
yeah.
Like they'll tell you what car your dad probably drove.
Yeah,
I tell you what.
Did you go to Lanier or Judson?
It's funny. Like
I still to this day, I don't care where you're living now. I don't care how successful you've become. If I meet you, I go, where did you go to high school? And there's certain schools you give me like,
Cross.
I got you, brother. I know exactly your way, buddy.
I know who you
I
are.
don't care where you've done with your life.
That's uniquely San Antonio.
It is.
Because
such a San Antonio thing.
In Houston, like, I mean, Houston's so big. Like, if you tell me, oh, I went to school in this random, first of all, I couldn't even name half the schools in Pearland, which is like on the opposite side of town from where I grew up.
Galena Park and
but
stuff like that.
I have no idea. That I mean, there's every school has like an eclectic sort of mix of people.
Nope.
Here, it's like. It's almost like they zoned high schools based on socioeconomic status.
We sum you up.
And it's like,
Burbank.
They draw the line, and it's like, okay.
Edgewood, say no more, brother. Say no more.
South San.
Yeah.
South
Memorial.
San, say no more. Now, Harlandale and McCullum, there's some crossbreeding in there. They're kind of the same, kind of
a
different.
little bit. Then
So
you have
go,
Alamo Heights.
You went to Harlandale? What side of Roosevelt you from?
Right.
Like, okay, I'm going to sum you up right now.
That
you
is-
went to East Central? I got your full
Or did you go to
wavelength.
Sam Houston?
You went to East Central, so you're a cowboy who thinks he's black. I got you. I'm with you.
I've never been somewhere where this happens. I've never been somewhere.
Oh, you are summed up. You went to Judson in the 80s? Oh, okay. I know who you are.
I know who you are.
Say no more, brother.
That's a wild thing to me, but it's funny.
It's true. It
It's
is a
absolutely
true
funny.
statement.
Gone Baby Gone is the movie. That's
the-
right, Claymore. What a guy. Cheese Louise says South San, baby. Class of 2017.
I'm product of South San, though. I went to the poorer part of South San,
Now,
which
do you
is
have-
hard to come by.
Do you
West
have to
Campus.
know? Do you have to know what year they graduated to really get the full picture?
There are some. I mean,
'Cause
there's
like
some
you said-
Lee graduates of a time that they were snooty. Now ain't nobody from Lee snooty. If you're snooty from Lee, you got problems. And then there was an era where Churchill was the preeminent school.
Well,
and
like
that's
you said,
long past.
MacArthur, there was a time where
Mac
that was a
Richie
nice.
Rich school that went along with Heights, but
And now my wife won't even let my kids go to that school.
See, and I was like, when you were looking around, I said, "Oh, Mac, that's a good school."
My wife is like, "The hell it is! You see these scores?"
Back in the day, that was it. But
Yeah.
if you went to Mac, I'll sum you up too. I know exactly who you are. It might not be good, and I know West Campus does not look good. We're river rats down there.
Oh man, that is funny. We get a Holy Cross.
Holy Cross.
All
Told
about you, Holy Cross.
Yeah, we know you.
The little brother syndrome there over Holy Cross. No, you'll get over it. You're going
And
to be
the
remarkably successful because you're always going to feel like you're less than.
And
Go
of
ahead,
course,
Holy Cross.
Central Catholic. even.
Central,
Yeah,
you feel
knew
like
it.
you're overqualified and you're better than everybody else. Central Catholic. I know exactly who you are. Now
Yeah.
you're going to go on to be successful. Sometimes despite that, but yeah, you know.
Yeah, you guys are a trip. You guys are a trip.
Everybody driving around singing the same thing.
Edgewood, Puro West Side.
Oh, Edgewood, say no more, brother. You're tough as nails. Tough as nails.
God.
I'm going to watch my wallet around you.
How about Fox Tech?
old school.
When did you get paroled?
Fox Tech, class of '83. Harlandale. Give me a Harlandale.
Harlandale.
What's happened from
Show
Harlandale?
me your shiv.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, if I didn't go to St. Gerard, I would have went to Harlandale.
St. Gerard was the Harlandale of private schools.
Yeah.
All right, wait, one more. Kennedy.
Oh, Kennedy.
No.
Kennedy was the poor Edgewood, if that's possible.
See? Geographical profiling.
Oh,
Yeah.
to a T,
It
brother.
works, apparently.
To a
In
T.
San Antonio,
And
it
it's
works
only
better than-
here. Only here.
I've never
Yeah.
lived somewhere where people do that, and it's like, oh my god. Now, like, there are a couple high schools where you go, oh, like your parents were probably really well off
Yeah.
if you lived in this part of town,
Right.
but for the most part, it's like, you guys, every school, there's like, I want to see one day. You should do this project. You should draw a picture of what every student from every school would look like,
would
and
be-
like make a poster.
It would be easy
San
to do.
Antonio high school students, and
No.
like just draw
Yeah.
the stereotype
It'd
of
be
them.
easy
Remember
to do.
Wheatley?
Oh, Wheatley.
Wheatley.
God, R.I.P. Wheatley High.
No.
A bunch of Mexicans thought they were black.
What's Health Careers High School?
That's a bunch of Mexicans thought they were white.
I'm going to draw blood.
Oh, my God.
All right.
Give me another one.
Got a DeVry.
DeVry Institute of Technology. They couldn't get into the Navy.
Or the Army.
Oh God.
You couldn't get in the Army. He went to DeVry.
Yeah, sold a little pot. Got on the record. Couldn't, so I'm off to DeVry.
All right, we got to hit a break. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the hoops that went down yesterday. Morning Huddle 94.1.
Twin Peaks got 4 locations waiting on you as the big game gets closer and closer. You do need to make your appropriate plan, so make sure you're aware of things that are happening getting closer and closer to the big old game. Spend the day with friends alike mind with the big game. Specials all day long. Root your team onto the favorite. But that's still a couple of weeks away. If you're a fan of the brews and the bourbon, that's still in play at Twin Peaks. On Fridays, they do things the right way. They bring down the best bourbons, not the ones that are at eye level, that ones that are behind this upper shelf kind of stuff, the things that start with Pappy and have racehorses on. We're talking about an evening that celebrates the finest in bourbons and brews. If that's your thing, head over on any one of those locales, all 4 of them, and celebrate your finest bourbons and brews with those that know what they're doing. Because the thing about Twin Peaks is they elevate what you're doing. Every place you sit is a man cave. Every TV is going to be focused on things that you enjoy, and you'll have enough of them to see that you might not even notice the food that's in front of you that's been scratch-made coming out of the kitchen. They change their menu on the regular, and for the big game coming, they're going to have everything you need, from the apps to the drinks, special made just for you. The drinks are always spectacular. The eats are always easy eating. But why do we go? It's so easy to say. It's those scenic views.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like a couple of new trouble spots. 1604 westbound O'Connor, getting reports of an accident. Another crash at the intersection of Thousand Oaks at Worspot Parkway. And that ongoing road work, 35 on the northeast side of town. Northbound connector to Loop 410. That connector partially blocked with road work. And Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Don't let data limits hold you back from being the gift master in the family group chat. Switch to Straight Talk Wireless and get real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Straight Talk, available at Walmart or straighttalk.com.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson for Prize Picks, the best place to get real money on your sports action. Me and 10 million other people are playing every day, and now's the time to do it. Have you ever heard of this? You've got a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. You can run your season all game long, and now 1,000 times your cash. Heck, I've been a Prize Picks player for a long time. I've not seen this. 1,000 times your cash. It's playoff time. It's now or never. Don't miss out on the fun in the last few weeks of the football season. Prize Picks is the best place to play, up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get the action on the sports that you're playing, and now you can get up to 1,000 times your cash. Join over 10 million members. Play today. And if you sign up today, you get up to $50 instantly when you play. Use the code ALAMO. Sign up today for 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Now at North Park Chevrolet, buy a new 2024 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab, posted at $34,999. Lease for $370 a month with zero down. Get 3.9% financing for 75 months on new 2025 Silverado Crew Cab Texas editions. And save $10,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Silverado heavy duty trucks. Together, let's drive at North Park Chevrolet. 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville or at npchevy.com. Must qualify for financing offers. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Paramount Plus is your streaming home for the NFL playoffs on CBS. It all comes down to this, as the Chiefs host the Bills in the AFC Championship presented by Intuit TurboTax. A trip to New Orleans is on the line, Sunday at 6:30 Eastern, streaming live on Paramount Plus.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
What is a sex giantess?
Well, she's a big girl. By big, I mean tall. And apparently there are short dudes that are very attracted to that, and they want to live in her cleavage and her hiney. I mean, is that like a fantasy? It's like, I want to live in your crotch for a while?
Well, define a while.
Well,
I mean, the way you say that.
No.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle, 94.1. Good day of college hoops last night, man. I mean, there were a couple duds. Like I said, Miami was embarrassing. Utah was embarrassing.
But upsets. A lot of comebacks.
The A&M game was, first of all, great win for the Aggies. To get, like I said, if you're getting road wins in the SEC, especially against other good teams, man, those are huge. And I'll be honest, if you watch that game, not once did you feel like the Aggies were going to win it. And
they teased us 5 times. I counted maybe 4, probably 5 times. The Ags in the second half cut it down to 1 possession. They'd get it down to 3, get it down to 2, miss a jump shot, it would spurt up to 7. They'd, turn over, rock fight again, get it close, miss a jump shot. And I texted AJ, this team would be pretty good if they could just shoot.
Well, I'm pretty sure I now know what was wrong with Wade Taylor. He had can't shoot-itis, and it's still lingering.
He was. That's another good thing about last night's win was they did it, quite frankly, without.
He was about as bad as you could be. Wade Taylor was, and he'd been out for a while. It's like, dude, I get it, you miss him, but my God, he was dreadful. But they trailed the entirety of that game
till 13 seconds.
13 seconds left. They hit a go-ahead shot, and that was the only 13 seconds they had a lead in the entire game.
Now,
and you could the look on the Ole Miss players' faces was just like, you got to be kidding me.
And as much as I'd like to give A&M credit, and I'll give them the credit for the want to. I mean, you have to be in a position to win a game. And they did everything to get themselves in a position despite the absolute inability to hit a three-point shot. And really, to help them along the way, they shot free throws on the road better than they have in, I'd say, 2 years. I think and it wasn't great. They were like 7 for 11 or something like that. But it was enough. To get yourself there is about all you can ask for in the SEC. I mean, it's just that was a battle of equals last night, and everybody is within 4 or 5 points across 16 teams in the SEC. Everybody is at their average best about a 4 or 5 point spread every night. There's never been a league this big and this deep.
It's good, man.
Ever. Because A&M at the end of the day there might be a 6 seed, 7 seed.
Dude, I think they're a 3 or a 4. I really do.
Well, right now they might be, but I'll tell you, their inability to shoot will be at the end of the day the reason they're a lower seed and probably a second weekend out.
Yeah, they are at 310th in the nation in 3-point percentage. That's out of 364. But they are the best offensive rebounding team in the country.
Flies to a rib roast, man.
I always say, if you want to know what Texas A&M's offense is, it's we miss a shot and hope we get an offensive rebound, and then we try and miss the shot again and then get another offensive rebound, and then eventually one might go in or we'll get fouled. Something will happen.
Well, that's the only 3 they're getting is the and one because they ain't hitting the jumper.
It's wild. And they turn the ball over a little bit. There's some ugly things to the game, but it's working, and defensively they're dominant. They are really strong defensively.
I say that, but they hit a 3 to win it. And the kid that hit it, he's a fifth-year senior, Obaseki. I always called him Obaseki. Manny Obaseki. Came out of Dallas. He was, when A&M got him, the highest recruit they had ever brought in the door. He was a 5-star North Texas basketball player who has not panned out to the level that was hoped. But he has played well against one team his entire career, and it's Ole Miss. He owns that team, and he's the one that hit the 3 to close it out.
Yep. Big win, like I said, over that. Chris Beard's got a good squad there, man. They got a couple really good players, and that's a tough place to go win. Arkansas got a 68-65 win, their first SEC win under Cal.
On the day they lost, they announced the loss of their guard for the rest of the season with a hand injury. Cal is learning that, money helps, but it ain't always the answer.
South Carolina came so close to knocking off Florida. I mean, you could argue that A&M win wasn't even the most dramatic one of the day, as Florida got a last-second winner in as well.
I'll tell you this, Florida is a better team than A&M. Florida's really, really solid.
Yeah, Florida's probably top 5 or 10 team in the country.
That's a good basketball team.
But, yeah, just a really solid day of games yesterday. And there was, like I said, there were some duds. What Houston did to Utah was assault. Utah, it didn't look like they belonged on the floor.
No, that was a bad matchup. Kansas dispatched TCU last night. That was a run past and prep for what's going to be a big game this weekend with Kansas. So, yeah, we had our duds, but you go to the SEC, you're rarely going to get that. You might not be. It might not be pretty basketball, but it'll be very, very competitive.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I said, some good ones last night. What a fun night of hoops. And some solid games today as well. And it's funny because on paper yesterday I was like, there's some ugly games here. USC, who you talk about a team that can't shoot a lick. USC's right there with Texas A&M, and somehow they went into Nebraska and won. Which Big Ten road wins are like, that's gold. So to go into Nebraska and win, that's a huge deal. We talked about that St. John Xavier game. We ended up going to overtime. St. John's did hold on and win, but yeah, like I said, fun night of hoops overall. I didn't watch any National Basketball Association last night, but I did see a few highlights here and there. And the ends of the Timberwolves Mavericks game and the Cavs Rockets game, they both went down to the wire. The Cavs, Darius Garland's at the line with he gets fouled shooting a 3. He's got 3 shots. They're down.
Nope.
They're down 2. Darius Garland is one of the 3 or 4 best free throw shooters in the league. He misses the first 2, and the Cavs lose by 1 in Houston. I mean, you talk about a painful, painful loss. And the
and T-Wolves too.
Yeah,
nice win.
Yep, a road win against a shorthanded Mavericks team, but a nice, good win for the Timberwolves as well.
Houston's on a little run now.
And
Houston's playing about as good as they can play.
No doubt.
This is when they make the playoffs, they're going to look back at the film from this last week or so. This is how they want to play.
Corey says Cal gets a lot of credit for recruiting 5-stars, but his coaching ability has declined. He's living off NBA ties. Coach Cal can't coach anymore. He's not a very good coach. He's a great recruiter. And
no. Coach Calipari is a great coach for what his job is. Cal is hired to bring in talent and convince them that if you'll spend a year in boot camp, we'll win a few basketball games here, but you will be a multi-millionaire in the NBA. I'm going to get you ready in a year. It's going to be NBA boot camp. You're not here to win games for Arkansas. You're here to put zeros on the other side of the comma. And while you're doing that, you need to win some basketball games to prove it. Kentucky folks got tired of it. It was more about talent than team. And talent wins a lot of games, but teams win titles. And Arkansas sold their soul to a coach who will get you ready for the NBA. He is as good a skills coach and prep coach as there is in the world. The team thing is just a byproduct of the plan. So no, he's a good coach. But call him what he is. He's a skills coach.
What do their NBA guys look like? I mean, Boogie Fland, I know, was an NBA guy, but now you don't have him.
You could pop this Arkansas team. Give him time. I mean, he just got there, but the money he bought, he just lost Boogie.
Yeah,
give him time. The talent's going to come because he has Walton money and the credit of if you play for Cal, you don't even have to start and you'll be a first-round draft pick.
B. Hannon, if the Rockets are able to make a move, are they championship contenders?
Yes.
Butler, question mark. Booker, question mark. We need to talk about Jimmy Butler. And you know what? We'll do that on the other side. This story is getting wilder and wilder. I mean, what a disaster this is. Like, the Heat really don't have a choice.
Well, this is unheat-like.
It really is.
We don't normally get here.
The Heat have a reputation, I mean, much like the Spurs, of being, like, kind of buttoned up and this really gotten away from them. It's so funny how much worse is this than what Kawhi did even.
Well, it's very much akin. It really is.
I mean, we'll talk about what's going on with Jimmy Butler next. It is the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by KFC. KFC bowls are back for just $5. Try 5 deliciously different bowls, like the new Nashville Hot Loaded Fry Bowl, or returning fan favorites like the Mac and Cheese Bowl or Nashville Hot Famous Bowl. Packed with all your favorite flavors, they've got your cravings covered.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson, and I've represented folks here in San Antonio injured by negligent drivers for more than 30 years. If you or a family member has been seriously injured, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400. I've heard from many of my clients that after they were involved in a collision, they would get phone calls asking them to hire an attorney. This is highly irregular and probably illegal. Any attorney that is trying to contact you either directly or through a marketing company is not the kind of attorney that you should trust with such a serious matter. Quite frankly, it's creepy. If you call me, we will speak directly. If you hire me, it will be after you and I have talked. I will explain what I can do for you, and you can decide what you would like me to do next. The phone call and the consultation are free. Getting a smart result requires that you make smart decisions along the way, and that's my job, to help you and your family make smart decisions, and that's based on more than 30 years of experience. If you've been injured in an accident, call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400, or go to my website, alawyerforus.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at selectquote.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GARAGE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GARAGE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GARAGE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We've got a new trouble spot on the east side. I-10 westbound at Ackerman. This crash in the left lane, that's already causing a 30-minute delay. Stop and go from FM 1516. On 35 southbound FM 1103, I'm down to Weidner. That's a 40-minute commute. No accident or stall in the area, just traffic volume. And then on 1604 eastbound O'Connor, that's a minor wreck now off to the shoulder. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs are 19-22 this season as they take the court in Paris. They hope to snap a 3-game losing streak against the Indiana Pacers. The Dallas Cowboys brought Brian Schottenheimer back in for another 4-hour sweat-out interview. He's reported to be up for both the head coach and potentially the offensive coordinator position simultaneously. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Happy Small Friday, everybody. Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Let me do this. Let me give something to the people. You know what? I'm going to give one to the Brigade Bar. That's what I'm going to do. Melting Pot San Antonio, located 14855 Blanco Road, has completed an exciting restaurant renovation.
Melted cheese.
They're celebrating 20 years in San Antonio.
Chocolate.
Make fondue memories and enjoy a new modern look and feel, including an elevated bar perfect for down to fondue happy hour with half-price cheese and chocolate fondue every Monday through Friday from 5 to 7. You're going to win a $50 gift card to the Melting Pot San Antonio. What I want is something from the show. What do we got? You tell me what you know what I said this morning. I had my breakfast was a non-traditional breakfast.
Oh, you had got up early for that one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm all about it. Let's see it.
Someone knows.
Anybody who knows they're a full-timer.
Anybody knows what I had for breakfast today? You, sir, win $50 to the Melting Pot. All you got to do is type it there in the Brigade Bar. First one to do it, you're the winner. Congratulations. And if no one gets it, Rob and I are going to the Melting Pot for lunch tomorrow.
I would have no problem with that.
Vic, you would be able to go too, but we don't want you. There, B. Castaneda got it.
Damn
Congratulations. Orange chicken is the answer. Oscar just missed out. They went boom, boom.
Yeah.
But B. Castaneda, orange chicken I had for breakfast. Breakfast of champions.
Most people don't win things knowing that or doing that. Normally you win a bottle of KO Pectate.
Well, I'm feeling good, Bubba. I'm feeling good.
You walk into our break room, and the news rats on the other side, they don't have any idea what day it is. They're, it's 4 a.m. and they're heating up like beef stew. I can't deal with that smell early in the morning. Like I don't need to smell your fish casserole
Yeah,
6 a.m., man. They
put
don't
weird
care.
things in the middle of the day.
Newsies,
or like in the
man.
middle of the morning.
All right, so B Castaneda.
B. Castaneda, give us a call.
656-3776.
There you go. We'll have another giveaway later on this hour. We're going to give away tickets to Billy Idol. Billy Idol and then Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
I am so down for this. I'm so into this. Now, it's at the Moody.
Yeah, in Austin.
It's going to be a little bit of a drive. But
at the new Spurs Stadium. You guys better watch out on that, I'm telling you.
That'll be a topic for a whole other day. Speaking of needing a
show for that.
I'm going to be so pissed off if that happens. I moved down here to do sports radio, and
they end up in
freaking
Austin?
NBA team moves to Austin.
Come on.
God. I'd be
Project
pissed.
Marvel.
Ugh. Better not happen. But yeah, we'll give away tickets to Billy Idol and Joan Jett.
Which would be
and
the headliner?
Blackhearts.
Which
It's
would
Billy
you
Idol.
think?
Billy Idol's
Idol's the headliner? Yeah, I guess so. Longer.
It's his tour.
Yeah.
It's called, the tour's called "It's a Nice Day to Tour Again."
He's got a tax debt, I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Don't we all? Don't we? God, I was Vic the other day on our group thread. Vic's like, I sent a picture of my tattoo, and Vic's like,
yeah.
He's like, I'm doing the most Mexican thing. My wife and I are waiting for our tax return. We're gonna get a tattoo.
That's such a St. Gerard thing to do.
And I was
That's such a St. Gerard thing to say.
I was sitting there thinking, I don't remember the last time I got a tax return, and that's such a white guy thing to say.
Oh, we look forward to that. They take it out all year.
Well,
I don't want to talk about this.
I pay my damn share too, and I never get any back.
Yeah, we're on different tax brackets.
I will say there is something to. I mean,
7 days. I got a check due.
You get the. I mean, I get it. Like we all pay our share technically. Well, I don't know if everybody pays their share, but
I'm paying for somebody's share. I'm paying more than mine.
But there is something to getting a little something. Some of your money back at the end of the year. It feels good versus you've taken my money all year, and guess what?
I get no VIG.
You owe us some more. What?
No, I know it.
Yeah.
I told, and it's not possible anymore for a lot of reasons. But there was a time when I told the tax guy, I just want it to be even. I don't want to get any money back,
and you don't want to
give.
give.
I don't want to write a check. If it can be even, Steven, that's all I want.
That'd
I
be
don't want
awesome.
to look forward to some money, which would be nice. It's a nice little gift that comes in it. But I don't want that. I don't want the threat of I chose the wrong box. I put the money in the wrong place, and suddenly I owe $10,000. And you got 3 days. I don't ever want to be in that boat. So just make it even, and it's just about impossible.
It is.
The way things work. It's jumping through hoops.
But Vic, you should get a tattoo with that tax.
I think so.
Money. That's a good idea.
Oh yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, I need the number of your guy.
Yeah. That'll be something to look forward to. All right. But like I said, we'll give away those Billy Idol tickets a little later on in this hour. The Jimmy Butler thing is really kind of boiling over at this point is probably the best way to put it. There's obviously they're past the point of no return. There's not a mending of those fences to be made. It's done. He's now suspended again, missed the team flight to Milwaukee, so he's going to miss the Milwaukee game and the Nets game that comes up after that, which, I'm guessing Jimmy Butler knew what he was doing when he missed that team flight.
Oh,
it's not. I don't think he overslept. Let's just say that.
Is he? Does he have a higher opinion of himself than he should?
I don't know, because it seems like with the move that the Suns made, there's mutual interest in getting it done. Now, the thing is, the Suns and the Heat are incapable of making this trade.
Yeah, they need help
by themselves. Mm-hmm. They're going to have there could be several teams involved in this thing, and when I say several, I'm talking about like it wouldn't shock me if there were over 5.
So, and don't you figure that Jimmy knows that his agent has told him, look, man, this is not just a straight up 1-for-1. Your $43 million plays into this. It's going to take some bodies, and to be this utter jerk it seems like he's getting in the way of his own progress. Just shut up and play, and we'll get this deal done. Why are you acting like this?
Yeah. Now, the reason why they're going, the hard part for the Suns here is to do a deal to get Jimmy Butler. And this is why they need a bunch of first-round draft picks. Someone once told me it's like when Jared Goff got traded for Matt Stafford, the Rams had to put a crumb cake around Jared Goff's neck so someone would take him. He said if you get sent to your aunt's house, like your parents want to send you away for the weekend, they'll send you with a crumb cake and say, hey,
Yeah.
I got to stay here this weekend.
Yeah.
So at least you bring something nice. The Suns, the only way they can make a deal is to get rid of Bradley Beal. So someone's going to have to take on Bradley Beal's deal, and that means they're going to get heavily compensated in some way for taking on that horrific contract. I don't believe the Miami Heat are going to be the ones to do it. So that also means, though, that the Miami Heat are not going to reap the benefit of those picks either.
No.
What Miami's probably hopeful of doing is getting the hell away from Jimmy Butler. And I'm sure they'd like a player back, but it ain't going to be the caliber of a player Jimmy Butler is. That's just not going to happen. So they're likely to get crumbs.
Well, therein lies the rub, because I have the sense that Jimmy's like, take crumbs, I want out. And Riles and Spoelstra, I'm not taking crumbs, man. You can sit down and wait. I'm not going to do that, because that sets a precedent that once I break what I normally do, people are going to keep coming back for that, and I'm never going to do this. So this is very un-Butler-like, but I'm not surprised. But the thing that I find most interesting is how Riley and Spoelstra let this get out of the room. You know, we didn't know for months how bad it really was.
It's a mess.
Which was a testament to the Heat and their organization. I didn't know Butler wasn't flying with the team. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But for months,
you didn't know he was staying in different hotels.
I had no idea. But that's Miami. They functioned pretty high level with that. And once that blew up, this is a situation that neither team will benefit from. Both of them are going to come out on the negative on this one.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
I mean, the team, the player, everybody involved ain't going to be happy with this.
Well, I got news for it. I don't think the Suns are going to be happy at the end of the day.
No.
I don't think that's a winning move.
And here's the other thing about
getting
this.
rid of Bradley Beal's a winning move, but
if I get involved with this, especially if I'm in the West, let's say I'm a team in the West that has the draft picks to kind of help and maybe I end up with some salary cap relief at the end of the day when Beal, when that comes off the books or whatever the case is. I am also, in doing this, enabling Phoenix. I am giving them what could be the key. I'm giving them Jimmy Butler, and they already have KD, and they've already got Book. I'm giving them 3 superstars. That might be the key to open the door to the West, and I'm not even sure I want to be the dude to do that. And I'm a tertiary party. I'm a third party to this.
First of all, how much more time does Jimmy Butler have as a superstar player?
Not a lot, but he is a difference maker on a team that needs difference makers.
And quite frankly, how much longer does KD have as a superstar?
Another reason to make this deal, because I do believe at their highest and best, that's a team that could contend. I mean, that Butler provides that kind of raw intensity that they've always missed. He could be that piece of the puzzle. So if I'm a general manager, I know I'm enabling this.
Now, one real sticking point for this whole thing is Bradley Beal. This isn't a deal where you can just say, okay, Bradley Beal, we're trading you to the Charlotte Hornets, and they're going to do Bradley Beal has a no trade clause.
Yeah.
And Bradley Beal can dictate where he will or won't go. So now not only do you have to find someone who will take Bradley Beal, but also a place where Bradley Beal says, okay, I'll go there. Now, the most likely place is what I read yesterday is Bradley Beal seems pretty open to playing for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, he'll go to a contender. I don't think he'll fight anything.
And the Milwaukee Bucks apparently are open to bringing on Bradley Beal. And they would have to probably dump off some contracts that are a lot of money, but they're short, which would be good for Miami. Chris Middleton.
I was going to say Middleton's got to be first on that list.
And Bobby Portis. Yeah. So that way Miami could get back some cap space.
I wouldn't do that if I was Milwaukee. I don't see the reason. It's a lateral move. I'm not benefiting by that. All I'm doing is helping 2 other teams get out from underneath a problem. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is very muddled. It's not an easy fix. CBS Sports put together this. They said, here's 3 possible trades for Jimmy Butler. First one is Heat receive Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis, Ryan Dunn, 2027 first-round pick. Pistons receive Pat Connaughton, Marjon Beauchamp, 2029 first-round pick. Bucks receive Bradley Beal and a 2025 first. Suns receive Jimmy Butler.
I'll tell you what, if they work that deal, I don't see who turns it down. That's about as good as it's going to get for everybody involved.
I'm kind of thinking the same thing.
It doesn't land in the West. Milwaukee gets the dude that can back up Dame. They're losing a lot of rebound work. I'll tell you what, Milwaukee, that's a strange part of this deal. But everybody else, I think, that makes some sense to me.
The next one is a 5-team deal. Heat get Middleton, Dunn, that 2027 first. Pistons get Bobby Portis and Marjon Beauchamp. The Raptors get Pat Connaughton, the 2029 first. Bucks get Bradley Beal and a 2025 first. Suns get Jimmy Butler. Okay, that one, it's not too dissimilar. It's just adding in a different team.
Yeah, can you think about sewing this group of guys together to make this deal, how difficult this would be?
And then the last one is a similar one that it now involves the Portland Trailblazers. Heat get Middleton, Portis, Dunn, Rayan Rupert, 2027 first-rounder. Pistons get Pat Connaughton, Marjon Beauchamp, Jabari Walker, and a 2025 first. Blazers get Yusuf Nurkic and a 2029 first. Bucks get Bradley Beal. Suns get Jimmy Butler and Robert Williams III.
There's just too much going on. I can't imagine that actually happening.
There's so much.
Yeah, that's
like this again. There's no simple trade here, which ends up being like the biggest block to all of it. Is there's not a team that you can do one for one. And remember, they're on that second apron where it's so difficult to make these moves already.
Right. This is when the players all got together and we wanted a bigger piece of the financial pie. Part of the negotiation was the owner's attorneys were telling you, if this money happens, if you guys start getting 40, you are now stuck where you are. I mean, most of you guys will not be moved immediately. It's not going to happen. So you're going to give up some mobility for a couple more zeros on the end of the check. And everybody in the NBA said, I'm in.
The other thing about that last trade specifically is, you notice when I said Bucks receive Bradley Beal, there's no pick attached to that.
No.
Like the Blazers now are getting that pick. Would the Bucks consider bringing in Bradley Beal and sending out Chris Middleton and Bobby Portis without getting a draft pick back?
No, they need to get something back in the door. But
the problem, just Bradley Beal, that's a disaster.
Well,
I guess you get cap relief.
You'd get cap. That's what I was going to say. Well, you do have cap relief in the very near future, and this team, as it's put together, has not been able to do it with Middleton. For whatever reason, he was a good addition, and he earned his money when they paid him all that. But now he's an albatross. He doesn't. The minutes don't match.
They won a title with Middleton,
and he earned it. So I'm saying the minutes now don't match the output. So I can see why he's a Miami Heat guy. If you believe that the separation from Milwaukee is we need more buckets, we need more offense, whatever that might be. If you believe that, then Beal's a good get. That's the only reason you go get him.
All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, we'll give away those Billy Idol tickets and talk about a guy who I think had a night last night that probably won him an MVP trophy. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
So many of my friends reach an age where you walk in and say, how you doing? And the first thing they tell you is how something's bothering them. You reach that, you got friends or family that you walk in, how you been? And they say, well, my hip and my this and my that. If you know those folks, the first thing you should say, so you don't have to deal with that anymore, is go see a Rosti. See a Rosti providers do what you need to get done to get out of pain, and they do it in a non-invasive way, which means it's not about surgery and long rehab. It's not about pills to hide the pain. It's about your body fixing itself, and it's remarkably effective. I'm living proof. I didn't know what a Rosti was. 8 years ago, I walked into something I had no idea what I was getting into. and walked out thinking I found the answer, and I have been a patient ever since. So if you're dealing with something painful, it could be lower back issues, it could be bad feet, it could be a strain or a sprain, you could be dealing with a locked shoulder, a bad hip that has not had any kind of relief in years. You owe it to yourself to go see an Arasti provider because they bring together a variety of different methods to get you fixed and get you fixed fast. The good news is you never need a referral to go see them, and they accept most insurances. So what are you waiting on? Write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. It's a 1-800 number, but you're calling local. Their website is arasti.com. Go there. On the page is a map of all the different providers. And I say go there because they're adding new ones all the time because Arasti is so remarkably effective. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. There's a fix out there. It's called Arasti. Call them today. Let them fix you, and then you can come on by and thank me later.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer. Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
we can be twinsies
to
how was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson, and I've represented folks here in San Antonio injured by negligent drivers for more than 30 years. If you or a family member has been seriously injured, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400. I've heard from many of my clients that after they were involved in a collision, they would get phone calls asking them to hire an attorney. This is highly irregular and probably illegal. Any attorney that is trying to contact you either directly or through a marketing company is not the kind of attorney that you should trust with such a serious matter. Quite frankly, it's creepy. If you call me, we will speak directly. If you hire me, it will be after you and I have talked. I will explain what I can do for you, and you can decide what you would like me to do next. The phone call and the consultation are free. Getting a smart result requires that you make smart decisions along the way, and that's my job, to help you and your family make smart decisions, and that's based on more than 30 years of experience. If you've been injured in an accident, call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400, or go to my website, alawyerforus.com.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way, but ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, we have a little Spurs matinee out in Paris. Wee.
A bit of a Spurs post-game show on The Blitz this afternoon, plus talking some baseball.
Yeah, and we've got a hometown hero who now pitches for the Astros. Forrest Whitley will join us at 4:30.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Oh, what a jam, baby. See, you appreciate this. You just don't like Duran Duran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got news for you. It was one after the other.
Yeah, but Billy Idol was way cooler than Duran Duran.
They both wore makeup, right?
Oh, they all wore makeup.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, but Billy Idol was a rocker.
Yeah.
He was pretty badass. I appreciated him.
Yeah, he wasn't some punk like those guys and hungry like the wolf.
We're on a sailboat, right? Is that where they?
Let me tell you.
I know what those guys were hungry for.
Well, I was hungry for stuff, and you had to have Duran Duran on the menu
to get to it.
To get to it. It wasn't fun, but it was necessary.
It also came out yesterday that it looks like Derek Lively's going to miss the rest of the regular season for the Mavericks, which is a huge blow.
That hurts.
That team, for a team that was so close a year ago, they just have had horrific injury luck this year, and
they still have time though.
I don't
need
think
that. Well, what I'm saying
they're going to make the playoffs.
They've got trade deadline time. If they feel like there's a possibility, they can go find a bouncy big to kind of fill in for Lively if they believe there's a chance. Luckily, it happened when it did. I'm not saying this is even likely, but if they did believe, at least they've got a week or so to find themselves something.
Yeah, I don't know what they are.
They're a very good team.
I mean, the good thing for them is below right now they sit at 9, and obviously the cut line for the play-in is 10. The teams below the cut line right now, I don't know that any of them are
they have
huge
no
threats.
They're not trying to catch them. But what this is
the only ones that really I know don't want to miss the playoffs or play in is Golden State.
Yeah, well, they're going to miss it on their own merits.
Spurs, Blazers, Pelicans, and Jazz. I hate to say it. It almost feels like the last couple weeks of the Spurs feel like they've just kind of accepted it.
6 to 7, they lost.
And it earlier in the year when they were losing close games, and I was like, man, this team's got fight in them. In the last few weeks, I've been like, it looks like they're quitting or they're running out of gas, one or the other.
You know, I have a problem with some of the subbing, but if Coach Pop was sitting here and they had lost 3 straight and 6 to 7 and things had gone flat, I would fall to the it's Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
I mean, this the intent. And because it's Mitch Johnson and because they're in this situation, you want to go, this is ineptitude. This is an attitude and attempt. This is just being inept. This isn't a long-term goal. We're going to play close and lose and, gain some valuable experience, but not a W, which is what we've done for the last couple years.
Right.
Now we blame we expect more. When in fact, if Pop was here and we were losing, we wouldn't be mad at Pop. We go, oh, we get it. You're down for Cooper. You're down for the draft picks. That's why you've been acquiring all these. You're actually going to use them. Oh, I get it. But since it's Mitch Johnson, we're mad, and I don't know where I should land right now.
Yeah.
Because the chase for Cooper is worth it. I get it. But he's generational.
You've already won too much for the chase to be mattering.
I agree. So you go, should I be mad right now, or are they just recalculating what the outcome of this season should be, given the last month?
Going into yesterday, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was the favorite to be the league's MVP this season. And yesterday, he scored a career-high 54 points against the Utah Jazz. He's been so consistent. Like, he's a guy who he's averaged 30 points a game, over 30 points a game the last 3 seasons. But it's pretty much like his stat line is the same almost every night. He doesn't do the Kobe or the there's no 70-point game out of him.
If he was Tim Duncan, if Tim was Shai or Shai was Tim, they would be playing those positions. Shai is Tim Duncan reborn as a guard. He is the big fundamental. He's going to only do what is appropriate at the time.
Shai is, you write him down, it's going to be almost every night somewhere between 25 points and 40 points. And that's where he lives. Last night, but before last night, he'd never scored more than 45 points in a game. He scored 54. The other crazy stat, how many times this season do you think Shea has scored under 18 points in a game?
Once? Twice?
0.
Yeah, I can't imagine. But it's not flash. It's just, you look at the box and you go, he had 50? I mean, it really is, to me, as he has matured into what he is, there's been no other player in the NBA that is more like Tim Duncan than Shea at a different position. He plays the game with the least amount of movement and effort required to be a superstar. There's no flash, there's no wiggle, there's no nothing. He goes and does what is appropriate, and no more, no less. He is the perfect coach's guard because he's not going to do anything stupid ever. He doesn't do dumb stuff. Now, he makes mistakes, but the perfection from that position, it just carries an average team up. It just lifts guys like Lugensdort up, who's an average baller who's in a great place right now because all he has to do is the absolute minimum because that's all he's got to do. And when you got a guy like Gilgeous, those guys just flow around you. It is a fun style to watch. And you have to watch Shea to truly appreciate how good he is because he's not going to give you a highlight. It's just going to be an easy jumper. It's going to be a floater. He's going to split the double. He's going to lay it up instead of dunk it. He's going to find the back door and drop the pass. It's just the rigor. This is what basketball players should look like.
We are right around the halfway point of the NBA season. I want you to tell me, I'm going to set this number. How many players do you think have shorter than 100-1 odds to be the MVP of the NBA?
In history or right now?
No, right this year. So through halfway through the season, I'm saying
shorter than 100 other than Shea? The next closest would probably be Giannis, maybe, or Joker. Joker's having his best year of his career. Joker might be.
He's second in the odds.
And Giannis third?
Giannis is third, but he's 100-1.
Yeah, and that's about it.
That means there's two players with shorter odds than 100-1.
And keep in mind, the Joker, who is by most accounts the greatest pound-for-pound player in the world, is having his best year ever.
He is.
And Shea is even better than that.
Shea is having his best year, and the difference maker is Oklahoma City's lost 7 games. They are a much better team. He's the best player on the best team, and as good as Jokic has been this year, his team is not dominant. Right. There's times where you're like, oh man, are the Nuggets even as good as we thought they were going to be? But right now, after last night's 54-point game, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander minus 500 to be the MVP.
He's the Paul Skeens. It's going to happen no matter what. You're going to have a down month.
Nikola Jokic plus 380. There's no one else with a chance, according to Vegas right now.
As we speak, they're showing the highlights from last night's game, and it's just good basketball. I hate to apply the Spurs principles, but it is good to better to best.
It is just very similar, man. It's not sexy. It's not, it's not going to, like, people aren't going to be like, oh, this Thunder team is like the greatest team ever. Like, when you watch when the Warriors were at their best, I don't care what team you cheer for. You couldn't watch them and not be like wowed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was beautiful basketball. It was fun. It was everything you want. When the Spurs were at their best, it was
methodical.
It was great. They were clearly dominant, but it wasn't something you wanted to tune in to see. The dirty little secret is, and I know Spurs fans always think, well, no one wanted to see it because we're in a small market.
That was boring.
It was just boring.
Yeah,
and but
perfunctory basketball.
Boring worked for the Thunder. The Thunder are boring. Quite frankly,
no top 10 highlights. They're just 140 points.
But they're awesome, and like it works both ways. I don't need you to be excited.
But I will say this: as when living underneath the umbrella of what we saw the Spurs and Pop and do that for all the years, and just the basketball mattered. It didn't matter about the stardom. It didn't matter about the highlights. Now we had dudes that did it. The one downfall to this style is there are nights, there are times that you need the superstar, that the game, the offense ain't enough. You need a guy that is just better than everybody else. And Shea has grown to that point, but he hasn't taken that next step. In a game 6 in the semifinals of the Western Conference, Is he ready to come in and not be Mr. Fundamental and drop the pass off to the layup, but take the game? Go be the best player in the world. That's the next step for him. It's a big ask, but he's going to have to do it. Well, I mean, yes. That's why I say game 6, when everybody knows you got to get 50. Can you go get the 50 and be selfish and be the thing that you didn't want to be? You didn't want to be that guy. You didn't want to be Kobe. You wanted to be Duncan. You wanted to be great at everything and share the wealth. No, not tonight. You got to be Kobe. Can he take that next step? He looks like he's ready.
Yeah, but it's so consistent with him. Like, he's not going to have a bad game. He does, and his bad games are way better than most people's good games.
Can you take that step to where Luka did not have a bad game, but have a great game?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Take that step, and he seems ready to do it.
I get that, but yeah, I think he's almost wrapped up the MVP. He's incredible.
I don't like Oklahoma City for a lot of reasons. You know, it's that little brother thing I think I have with Oklahoma City. But one of the things I do appreciate that only a team like Oklahoma City can do is post-game, whenever they grab the star of the game, the whole team stands, that nobody goes into the locker room till everybody's done with their free throws or their post-game interviews. That's a very collegiate thing to do, and you can't do it with a bunch of grown-ass men.
I think they like each other.
Oh, yeah, and I love that about them, that it's all for one.
No, I get it, man. I like that team a lot. And what I think it's maybe the most amazing thing is their second best player he's played like a handful of games all year.
And quick, name their coach. Quick. See? Quick. Dagnall.
He is very good.
Quick, name his coach. And you go, it's a team. It's not about the coach. It's not about the guys. It's everything.
They are a really well put together team. That is it's hard for me to. I know at the beginning of the season I said Thunder over Cavs. I don't know if the Cavs are going to be there. I feel so confident that the Thunder are going to win the West. I feel like they are so much better than everybody. That it's very hard for me to picture someone beating them 4 out of 7.
You mean that 7'3" dude that's about to show up again?
Exactly. Yeah. Who's like a top 5 defensive player in the league? Yeah. Good luck. And then, but the East, like I can see the Cavaliers losing to the Celtics or the Bucks or whoever. Like it's really right now. It's really hard to convince me that someone in the West is going to beat OKC 4 out of 7.
Go bet them to go. It will take a catastrophic injury. Seriously,
it really would.
That's all that's in between them and the finals. And I'd say just about the same way with Cleveland. Right now, those two teams are just so much better than. Even though last night Cleveland lost in Houston, it took a monumental effort and that kind of thing to win against the hottest team in the West, or just about. It just seems to me that right now, and it's going to take a significant something to change Cleveland. Yeah, it's definitely going to be Cleveland. And the way Oklahoma City's going, I think we could pencil in the finals. Now, how they get there is going to be interesting, but I can't see two teams even better than those two.
You know who the hottest team in the West is? You'll never guess who's won 9 out of 10.
I would have thought the Rockets. They seem to be floating pretty high, but no.
Sacramento Kings.
Well, you fire your coach.
9 out of 10.
Well, look, who'd they have last night? Golden State?
Yeah. They were 14 and 19. They're now 23 and 20. They
can mark Mike Brown off the coaching search list.
I think so. I think you're safe there. But yeah, they went from being the third from the bottom in the West to now they're sitting in the 7th slot.
Well, the sad thing is everybody who's been following this goes, well, yeah, they should be 4th or 5th.
Their roster,
the West.
They should be really good.
So they should be where they are at.
All right, let's hit a break, and when we come back, we'll look at the NFL games. A brief look. We'll break them down big time tomorrow, but I want to get some overriding thoughts in. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1. I got to tell you guys about Karbach. Karbach Brewing, my favorite brewery in Texas, and for good reason. They've got something for everybody's taste, and including, friends, their free and easy, which is their non-alcoholic beers. I know a lot of you are doing the dry January thing. You're trying to stick to your goals. I get it. First of all, luckily January's almost over. But also, if you're gonna stay sober, you might as well have something that tastes like beer. If you like beer, I like beer. I like the taste of beer. And they've got a couple options for you that taste like normal beer, and it's an ideal situation. Plus, they've got this new beer out called Hoplectic. It is a seasonal IPA. Again, I haven't had this batch yet. I haven't found it yet, But if it's the same recipe that I have had before, and it is a fantastic beer, and it's about to be all over the place. It's going to be on draft. It's going to be at HEB. It's going to be at liquor stores. So make sure you try that, and also check out the Ziegenbach in its new 12-pack packaging. And, of course, Crawford Bach and Hopadillo and Love Street, their bestseller, Love Street, they're going to be all over the city anyway. So when you're watching the football games this weekend, go ahead and ask your bartender, please make it a Carbach.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We got a couple of new trouble spots. Loop 14 eastbound just past Babcock. That's a stall. It's off to the shoulder, still causing about a 10-minute delay, slow from Culebra. And then a wreck at 35 northbound approaching Olympia Parkway. That has you stop and go from O'Connor. Going to set you back about 6-8 minutes. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. My Lowe's Rewards Week is coming, and it's kind of a big deal. Members, get ready for up to 40% off store-wide on hundreds of items. Join for free today. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms subject to change.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. Every day, ZipRecruiter helps people who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up, football fans? BetMGM is giving you the chance to win up to $250,000 in bonus bet credits. It's all part of BetMGM's longest touchdown jackpot, where you could be able to split the grand prize with anyone else who bet on the longest touchdown of the week. Log into your BetMGM account today and opt into the promo. Then place an anytime touchdown wager of $10 or more on the player of your choice, up to 1 player per game. If your player scores the longest touchdown of the week, you'll win a share of the $250K in credits. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada. BetMGM's longest touchdown jackpot subject to rules. See BetMGM.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are unrestricted rewards credits that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Ba-na-na-na-na. Knew he must have been about 17. Ba-na-na-na-na. I always feel kind of silly singing this song. I think everybody likes this song.
Oh, yeah. Man, it was a good
He was with me. Yeah, me.
And she was, in her day, she was tough, but kind of sexy.
Oh, yeah.
Those leather pants and that snarl.
Put another dime in the jukebox, baby.
Did you ever follow the Runaways, the band she was in first?
No. I wasn't alive when the Runaways existed, Rob.
I mean, they still do exist in final form. But
okay. In 8-track. Yeah.
Oh.
Because it's all the same.
Spent some evenings in Valley High Park.
We can be alone.
Hoping a cop didn't knock on the door, trying to figure out why those windows were all fogged up.
Let's go ahead and do it, man. Let's give away tickets to go see Billy Idol. It's a nice day to tour again. With Joan Jett and the Blackhearts will be there with me. With me. We're playing the Moody Center in Austin on Sunday, May 4th. If you want to go see it there, be caller number 7 right now.
You got a pretty good standard British accent. I think that it's kind of like
But Billy Idol talks like he's really pissed off when he's British.
Well, there's the proper, and then there's the
and hey,
the bulldog business.
If you don't win it here right now, you can always buy them at livenation.com. .com.
Has he done anything? Like anything?
He was
the
on
last 20 years.
Yes, he was on The Wedding Singer.
Was that 20
Was
years?
he?
That's not even 20 years.
No,
though.
it's
That's
over 20 years ago. Yeah, I don't think he's done anything in the last 20
I don't hear of him often. He just
remember he was on the
pops up.
plane on The Wedding Singer, and he he was like, as a special man, he wants to make an announcement, and he started singing for Drew Barrymore. Yeah, Billy Idol was the star of that show.
Yeah, look how he looks.
Looks all right.
He looks almost the same.
He looks the same. Yeah.
Pretty much.
If you can rock the same, now I've done this. If you can rock the same haircut for 15, 20 years, he's done it for like 40.
Yeah, he's had the same hair for 40 years.
That's impressive. I've had mine for my hairstyle for about the last 15 years.
Is that a
consistently?
Style?
You're bald.
That's not a style.
You're
that's just how you end up.
What?
That's just,
what?
What do you mean? You don't call that style.
First of all,
look, I have no hairline.
Style, huh?
Hey, but you know what? It could look different.
It could.
I could grow out the bozo ring, the horseshoe.
You could.
Oh, you could. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I could even do like the.
You put a toupee on there.
If you grew it out, you would look like the angry police sergeant in all the movies. You gotta stop being a lone wolf, McQuaid. You'd be that guy screaming it.
Or Costanza.
I really like. If I wanted to, if I would have a hat surgically attached to my head,
okay,
I could look like I had a full head of hair.
Oh yeah,
you can buy those hats with hair sewn in.
My hair, like on the
sticking out
on the sides and the back of my head, grows very well and very thick. It's just
you got to comb it up. You got to bring it.
I refuse to do it. I refuse to do it.
The tidal wave forward.
That's what Keith Urban looks like.
Keith Urban has adopted a hairstyle.
I refuse to be that. I'll rather be bald.
Yeah, that's why I keep my hair short. I don't want to grow it out and confuse
Looks like
everybody.
a sheepdog.
I'm just like, man, I'm good, man. I'm good. I've gotten used to being bald. It doesn't bother me anymore. That's why when people people argue with you on Twitter and they're like, "You're bald." It's like, well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
What do you guys have Tourette's? Yes, I'm bald.
Yeah,
it's common.
Well, you do save time in the morning. I'll give you that.
I played that. I played that video for you about that with that girl with Tourette's, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
you're bald.
Yeah,
you're bald.
Every time I see someone who's bald, I just have to tell them that they're bald. And she's like, "You're bald." I hate that girl.
I am not. I'm follically challenged.
All right, man. It is. We're a couple days away from it. I am probably more excited than the average NFL fan about this weekend. I'm sure everybody's excited about these. I mean, it's kind of cool that you've got familiarity in both these matchups.
Well,
like, obviously, you got a divisional matchup and these teams who know each other very well. And then the Bills and Chiefs seem to play every single year at this point. So it's just a matter of if the Bills are ever going to be able to break through. But do you like that better, or do you like it better when it's like it's two teams you haven't seen?
Well, no, I like the familiar because I like the plot lines. I like the fact that Josh Allen has never beat Mahomes in the playoffs. I like that, Kansas City's trying to get their third and truly make history. I like that. The other side of the coin, it feels like we got the game of destiny, and then we got the game of gravy. And Philly isn't gravy. They've been aiming at the Super Bowl. They've been a contender. The Commanders is gravy. It really is. And we've got the top two, and we got the bottom two.
But
and I'm so excited about one of them. And the other one's going to be fun, but it's not like I'm looking at the best 4 teams in football this weekend.
But, Rob, once you get to this point, there's no gravy. Like, everybody's got the same exact goal. And, like, right now, if the Commanders don't win the Super Bowl, they're going to be disappointed. I mean, they'll be happy with how the season went.
Yeah, they'll wake up and go, well, there's always next year.
Yeah. The future's bright. But, once you get this close, everybody's like, okay.
And there's normally a game like that. And it's not like Philly has been a disappointment. But to the extent that Kansas City has been just effective enough, Philly's been almost. They're almost there all year, and they've won big games, and they've done everything, but I look at them as the odds-on favorite to beat the Commanders. I just feel like that's going to happen. And then no matter what happens, the winner on the other side will be favorite and probably take it by 2 touchdowns. I really just think that the Super Bowl is going to be played Saturday. Well, the best possible will be the winner of the AFC against Philly, to me. I think the further the Commanders go down this road, it feels a whole lot like when Cincy went, when Burrow was riding high, and you kind of knew, like, dude, this is kind of a house of cards. Y'all know that, right? I mean, everybody looking around, like, if one thing goes south with Cincinnati, it's over, and it happened. It went south, and it was over.
I saw a meme on the interwebs where it was like a road, and it split 2 ways. And on one side, it had Buffalo and Washington, and it was sunshine and flowers and like a big castle at the end. And the other side was like dark and gloomy, and it said KC versus Philly. And it was looked like
I want the dark and gloomy. I do, but I do get the Jaden Daniels story, and I might be able to jump on board with what has now become the best rookie season in history.
So that's kind of my thought is, it's real easy to cheer against Patrick Mahomes at this point. Great as he is, it's the same thing with Brady. At some point you go, okay, enough.
Yeah, I'm not going to root against you, but I ain't rooting for you.
And maybe it's just me. I don't know where everyone else stands on this guy. I don't like Jalen Hurts. I don't think Jalen Hurts is that good. I think Jalen Hurts is like probably the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. I firmly believe Jalen Hurts couldn't win a playoff game with any other team. Like, I think he's a one-trick pony, and I don't think his trick's even that cool.
Well, that might be the storyline, right? It finally proves it.
It feels like it's really hard to root against Josh Allen and Jaden Daniels. Like, they're both incredibly cool stories and guys you want to see have success. Especially because, and not to say that, I mean, when Patrick Mahomes first had it, it was kind of cool to me. It's just he's had enough that I'm over it. I'd like to see those two guys have that success.
But for me to root for a team, I have to trust them. And I just don't. It's not that the Commanders have given me any reason not to trust them, that they'll go out and do the right thing, because they have. But I know they're being led by a rookie who is going down streets that he has never been down with a bunch of dudes that are, I'm afraid are going to get to the point where they're just happy to be here. Like, I cannot believe I'm in New Orleans. Oh, wait, we got practice? Oh, I'm sorry. I was enjoying the Super Bowl that I did not have any plans on being at. So I'm afraid that if I jump in on the Commanders thing, we could run into a pretty ugly football game,
I saw something awesome. It said Patrick Mahomes is 21-1 in his last 22 starts. The one team that beat them is the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles are 14-1 in their last 15 games.
But
the one loss was to the Washington Commanders.
And that needs to be promoted more, because that does add the weight that the championship weekend
needs. That's kind of cool, right? Like, it's like, okay, these are if there's kryptonite for these teams,
it's each other.
This is what they've got. Like, I mean, it's so, and with Kansas City, particularly Kansas City Buffalo, it goes both ways, because as good as Buffalo's, as well as they've done in the regular season against the Chiefs, these playoff games have been the kryptonite to the Bills.
And then vice versa.
And vice versa.
Right.
I find these matchups just fascinating for very different reasons. But as someone who coming into the playoffs was like, I guess I just kind of wrote the Commanders off. Like,
yes,
I didn't think they were really going to do, because you're right. It's a rookie quarterback. It's like, good luck.
At some point, he's going to throw 3 interceptions. I'm not going to be mad at him, but it's going to happen.
I don't think Dan Quinn's like some special coach. I know a lot of people really like Dan Quinn. I think Dan Quinn's just a guy. It's fine, but I think there's something too, and it's funny you mentioned the Joe Burrow thing. You've got a quarterback who's just like, it doesn't matter what kind of garbage you put around him, they're going to be great. Like they're at least going to be really close to great. And Jaden Daniels feels like he can be that. And these guys who are on teams that have major flaws and can still succeed are the most, to me, though, that's the most impressive thing. The Joe Burrow, Josh Allen's very similar. Like there's a lot about the Bills roster that makes you go, that team has a chance to win the Super Bowl.
Some of it.
But there's literally one dude wearing a 1-7 that goes, oh yeah, that guy does have a chance to win the Super Bowl. The same thing with Joe Burrow, and I feel it's kind of the same thing with Jaden Daniels.
You're hit it on the head. Yes.
I haven't seen Jaden Daniels do anything that makes me go, oh, he can't do it.
No, but I keep waiting for him to do it because he's just so young.
No, I get it, man. I get it. It's I hope that the Commanders win. Just for the story, and obviously I hope the Bills win because
for the story and the love,
for the story
and the gear
and
the swag.
and to make me happy. Yes. Give me some joy, football Jesus in the sky, some joy.
Oh,
all right, 1 hour to go on a small Friday. Look at us, Rob. We're almost done with this damn week. We'll be back. Morning Huddle 94.1.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. My Lowe's Rewards Week is coming, and it's kind of a big deal. Members, get ready for up to 40% off store-wide on hundreds of items. Join for free today. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms subject to change.
Take the guesswork out of buying and selling your home with Orchard. Hi, Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Will your home sell in time? Which upgrades are worth it? Can you keep your home show ready with a busy life? Orchard has all the answers. With Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, you can buy your new home before selling your old one. It's simple. Orchard gives you an equity advance, unlocking cash to buy your new home first. That's right, you don't have to wait for your old place to sell. You can move in right away. And no more rushing out for showings or constant cleaning because Orchard sells your old home after you've settled into your new home. Orchard even handles repairs and improvements at no out-of-pocket cost to you. Their local pros know which upgrades bring you the most money, so you sell for top dollar. Buy before you sell and skip the selling hassles with Orchard. Start your free home valuation at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer-dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf, Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We got a couple of new trouble spots. Loop 410 eastbound just past Babcock. That's a stall. It's off to the shoulder, still causing about a 10-minute delay, slow from Calabria. And then a wreck at 35 northbound approaching Olympia Parkway. That has you stop and go from O'Connor. Going to set you back about 6-8 minutes. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs are 19-22 this season as they take the court in Paris. They hope to snap a 3-game losing streak against the Indiana Pacers. The Dallas Cowboys brought Brian Schottenheimer back in for another 4-hour sweat-out interview. He's reported to be up for both the head coach and potentially the offensive coordinator position simultaneously. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenicshealth.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Friends, the finalists have been announced for the NFL awards. Oh, by the way, first, congratulations to Jose Noriega. He's going to see Billy Idol. And Joan Jett's going to be there with me. And the Blackhearts, too, probably going to be there.
I don't think they're British. Are they British? No,
I don't think so. I don't think they're Brits. I never seen them there. But if they
sound like Mel Gibson,
but he's Aussie.
Yeah.
That's not a good
man, don't confuse our accents. Okay. And plus, if I was Mel Gibson, I'd be saying something racist or anti-Semitic. Yeah. Like I'd be really terrible.
Speaking of, and we got stuff to do, but have you seen the video? It is Mel Gibson and the British comedian Brand. What's his name?
Russell Brand.
They're actually at Mar-a-Lago doing something with Trump. I didn't know they were Trumpers, but they are. I'm not surprised.
Oh, well, you knew Mel Gibson was. Russell Brand's the surprise. But
so they're sitting there.
He's a sort of a British Joe Rogan, like where he's a smarter guy than he seems.
I
I'll say
appreciate
that.
his humor.
Yeah.
I don't dislike him, but they're sitting at at a panel, and there's video on him for some reason. And Mel Gibson leans over to Russell Brand, and he's looking at his phone, and he goes, "My house is burning down right now."
Yeah.
And Brand looks at him like, "Are you serious?" And you're like, "Are you
Are
kidding
you
me?"
serious, mate?
Yeah,
Are
seriously.
you
You
serious?
can see in his face, like, "What?" And he goes,
What do you mean your house is burning down?
And he turns and shows him his phone, and you
Your
can see
bloody
Brand
house
like,
is actually burning down right now.
"Holy crap, dude! Your house is burning down!" And he just kind of sat there, like,
That's absolutely mad that your house is burning right now while you're sitting here with me.
brilliant. Yeah, couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
The finalists have been announced for the NFL awards, including the MVP. The 5 finalists: Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff. Who gets your vote, Rob?
Allen's the MVP. Had it all year. he kind of tailed off at the end, but not the best player in the league, but absolutely the most valuable.
I agree. I think that, man, I do give Saquon a lot of credit, especially because I don't think all that much of Jalen Hurts. And I'm like that guy he's just a monster for a team that has a very limited passing game in my mind, even though they've got good receivers. Mm-hmm. Saquon's just a monster. Lamar, I absolutely respect what Lamar's done, but Derrick Henry showed up and that offense suddenly became legendary. It wasn't. I mean, there has to be some correlation there. And Joe Burrow,
you can make an argument for 3 of the 4. Goff,
Jared Goff, argument. Forget it. Joe Burrow, make the playoffs. If Joe Burrow made the playoffs, he probably wins the MVP. Statistically, he's incredible.
Well, he has a Jamar Chase. He has some things that do
absolutely
help, and Josh Allen doesn't. So I do think that it would have helped, but
he just didn't win games.
No, he didn't win enough games, so that just discounts you. Sorry, you can play again next year, but that's done. Lamar, you didn't do anything new or different than your other MVP thing. You're the best player in the world. You are. He's the best football player playing. But you're not the most valuable. You just said it because of Derrick Henry. So it's not the best player in the world. It's the most valuable. It goes to Josh. We have other awards here for some of these guys.
Yep.
And Offensive Player of the Year, you throw Lamar into this argument front and center ahead of Josh Allen.
Well, Josh Allen's not even on the list.
Yeah, so there's a reason why there's these kinds of awards, though I don't think he deserves it either. That's an award for Saquon.
So the 5 guys that are the finalists for Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon, Joe Burrow, who I think also has an interesting case there, Jamar Chase, who won the receiving Triple Crown.
Which should be an Offensive Player of the Year contestant. But
Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, I think it's going to be Saquon. I see a great argument for Joe Burrow. I wouldn't be mad if it was either of those guys.
But 2,000 yards, man.
It's incredible.
You got to give him the award.
It's incredible. Defensive Player of the Year, Zach Bond, the Eagles linebacker, Myles Garrett, Cleveland, Trey Hendrickson, Cincinnati, which, by the way, would be my pick if their defense was not, like, horrific. Like, how do you have a guy who's that much of a game wrecker and your defense stinks? Patrick Surtain from the Broncos and T.J. Watt from the Steelers. I think my vote would go to Patrick Surtain. I think he was phenomenal. I think that Broncos defense was very good, very tough, and he had a big role in it. I know normally they're looking for these pass rushers, but I would vote for Patrick Surtain, I think.
17.5 sacks, man.
It was incredible. But you're like, if you're the best defensive player in the league, how can your defense be like one of the bottom 5?
And Saquon can fall back on, I got 2,000. My team's good too. I mean, they benefited by it. But I see 17.5 sacks, and it's hard for me to get past that.
He was a freak, man. You know what? I don't think I'd be mad at any of these guys. Zach Bond, that Eagles team is just so loaded defensively. I don't know that Zach Bond is particularly better than some of the guys on his team. And Myles Garrett, good year. I mean, really good year. But I've seen him do better.
It's the Lamar Jackson thing. Yeah, you're great, but you didn't do anything different, better, or unique.
And maybe that's the thing about T.J. Watt. Maybe there's some fatigue on that. T.J. Watt.
He also, in his last 4 games, he was a non-entity in the last couple of games. No tackles, so no.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, which I mean, in a year where this award is locked up.
Yeah, put his name on the trophy as the Jaden Daniels Rookie of the Year trophy.
Dude, think of this is going to maybe go down as a historically great rookie class.
It's certainly the best rookie year of any quarterback I can ever remember.
It goes back. I mean, maybe like the Joe Montana.
Was he playing in the championship game?
No.
Let's see what I'm saying. Once we added this championship game thing, we separated ourselves.
Brock Bowers, Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, Bo Nix,
all worthy,
and Brian Thomas.
Worthy.
Any other season, like Brock Bowers had the rookie tight end broke every rookie tight end record. Malik Neighbors is like the next big thing at wide receiver
for the Giants to shuffle the deck, baby. We've started our rebuild now,
and it's a given that Jaden Daniels is the Rookie of the Year. Sorry, it's wild. Like Drake May was so good, he's not even a finalist.
No, this is if we went with the rookie way, like they do the vet way, there'd be Rookie of the Year, and then there'd be the Offensive Rookie of the Year, and that'd be Brock Bowers. You know, he had the kind of year that any other time, we're talking about Brock Bowers as, 5 years from the retirement first ballot. He looks that good.
Joshua says Stingley Jr., without him, the defense would have been horrendous. Won't win, but needs a mention. Well, he didn't make the finals. But I do think if there was a Texan who made the finals, it would have been Will Anderson. Will Anderson was the game wrecker for that team. And then B. Hannon says Ladd McConkey. Yeah, Ladd McConkey wasn't good enough to make the list. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's not even a finalist. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Cooper DeJean. Listen, anytime a white cornerback is even remotely good, I think they're going to give him an award.
Well, it was something, but I saw him get burnt a lot. I mean, it's tough to quantify what a great rookie defender looks like, and if he's playing in a crowd.
2 Rams, Braden Fisk and Jared Verse, edge rusher and a linebacker.
I'll trust you. I don't know.
Chop Robinson, who was a good pass rusher for Miami. I think it's Quinyon Mitchell, the corner from Philly, who did not get burned. Like he was one of the best, like probably a top 5 corner in the league in his rookie year. Incredible rookie season. I think Quinyon Mitchell should win that. Comeback Player of the Year, which is always the most controversial award.
It's the award you don't want to get.
But you never know what it's for.
Is it off an injury, or did you just get
better?
Or
did you stink last year? That's the big question.
But this is the quintessential comeback player of the year.
Joe Burrow.
No.
Off of injury.
That's
no. I mean, he missed the whole season. It's like he comes back and he's the best player in the league. There's something to be said.
No, it's not him.
DeMar Hamlin.
Good story. I know your heart stopped.
He was a dead person.
Nope, not him.
Christian Gonzalez, who
good story.
Is one of the only good players that New England has.
Mm-hmm. Nice draft pick, and I still can't figure out why they fired their coach over those 2 draft picks, but it's Sam Darnold, man. There's no question.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins also a finalist, and Sam Darnold, the quarterback from the Vikings. I really think, honestly, Rob, that award is maybe people look at it so differently. Like every voter is going to votes on their own mind what they think the award should be. So I really have no clue. I would never bet on who's going to win Comeback Player of the Year.
He might be unanimous. There's no Sam Darnold.
If you don't think that DeMar Hamlin is going to get votes,
that's
I mean, he will. There's people who are going to be like, "Oh, he died."
I don't think so, man. Sam Darnold is the epitome of what Comeback Player of the Year should be. Some people are felled by injury that they had no control over. This dude sucked. I mean, people were happy to see him leave, paid him to leave 2 teams.
I'm telling you, know who I think is going to win this is Joe Burrow.
I can't imagine you give Joe Burrow. I mean, we know how good you are. Comeback. Don't call it a comeback. Call it a get well. Sam Darnold came back. I mean, this guy was dead.
Well, I think Joe Burrow is going to win it. I think that's who's going to catch those votes. Like you said, the fact that, like you said, what award is for Joe Burrow? If Offensive Player of the Year is not for Joe Burrow, what is? It's going to be this. I think it is.
I think that's such a good story for Donald.
I agree.
I mean, I can't imagine. Joe Burrow coming back from what? You're Joe Cool. You are hurt. That's all. That's it. That you were only hurt.
Coach of the Year. There are real arguments to be made for almost all of these guys.
And I agree with – I will be happy with whoever gets it. But my choice is not the popular one.
Andy Reid, head coach of the Chiefs. Dan Campbell of the Lions. Dan Quinn of the Commanders. Sean Payton of the Broncos. Kevin O'Connell of the Vikings.
Who did the most with the least?
It's got to be either O'Connell or Quinn.
I like Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton did the absolute most with the least.
I mean, you can make an argument for that, too.
He didn't have the best team. I think that the other guys did better jobs like Minnesota. But when Payton walked out there and looked at his roster and had Bo Nix, his hand-chosen dude, no wide receivers to speak of, no real running back to speak of, but a running game and a passing game. But nobody we can name that helped do it. I was impressed with what he did. He won't win it, and probably shouldn't in the grand scheme. But man, I think he did it. His best coaching job of his career, including his Super Bowl year, was this year.
Dan Quinn walked into a job year one to a team that went 4-13 last year, and has. I mean, I know it's a regular season award, which would go like I think if it wasn't a regular season award, I think Dan Quinn would win. Like now that he's won 2 playoff games. I don't know that he will.
I don't think he will.
But Kevin O'Connell won 14 games with Sam
Kevin
Darnold
O'Connell.
at quarterback.
He deserves it. Everything that he did, not just doing it with Darnold, that wasn't even the plan. If he had done it with Darnold was the starting quarterback in June and they hadn't drafted a quarterback, I would still be super impressed. You still did it with Sam Darnold. He did it after losing or getting rid of Cousins and losing McCarthy, and just it's a remarkable job that will be forgotten about in time because of the loss. But the fact is, he did enough to win it, and a good young new coach deserves something like that.
Yep. So there you go. That's your awards list.
You make such a good point for Joe Burrow, because there does need to be an award for something like that.
You can't have a season like that and go home empty-handed.
Yeah, he's going to go. And I do think that I just, in good conscience, can't vote for Joe Burrow as comeback player. Dude, you were already great, and you just got great again. You didn't come back from anything. You got well.
No,
you're right. If he
a lot of guys get injured like that and don't come back.
Because that 8-game stretch was as good a quarterback play as we'll see.
But it also led to like one win over a playoff team all year, which, All right, let me tell you guys about SA Card House, the premier card house here in San Antonio, Texas. I spent some time there last night. Made myself a little cash. I don't like to brag, but did pretty well in a tournament there last night. And as you know, you go play a tournament there that I'm in, you knock me out of the tournament, and they're going to put your entry fee right back in your pocket. So it doesn't matter. Like, if you knock me out and then you get knocked out right after me, guess what? They're still going to pay you your entry fee back. That's a pretty tough deal to beat. So come by there, say hey to me, and if you knock me out, let me know about it, and we'll get you paid. And guys, the food, I can't tell you. I talked about the orange chicken. Oh my gosh, I want to try something new every time, but I keep saying orange chicken, fried rice, extra spicy, extra saucy, and it's so friggin' good. I can't change my order. But they've got great food, great drinks, great people, and it's just a good time. They got tournaments going every single day of the week. They had 2 of them yesterday, and they've got cash games going 24/7. So check them out on their socials. SA_cardhouse.com will give you all it'll give you all the details on Instagram. SA_cardhouse will tell you what the tournaments are coming up. And like I said, cash games going 24/7. Get out there, 281 and bidders. I will see you on the tables.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Still working that trouble spot at 281 southbound at San Pedro. 2 right lanes are blocked. 20-minute delay has you slow from 1604. 35 southbound as you approach Judson Road. That stalls in the right lane. 10-12-minute delay slow from FM 1103. And on 14 eastbound just past Babcock, this stall off to the right shoulder in the clearing stages. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Robert Half. Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals use proprietary AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text PREP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text PREP to 42424. That's PREP to 42424.
Let me ask you a question. Is your roof ready for anything? Well, Stevens Roofing, a locally owned company, has been serving our community for decades. Whether it's a commercial project or residential, or repairing your old roof, or maybe installing a new one, they've got you covered. And now Stevens offers solar. Stevens Solar Solutions can save you money and energy. Stevens Roofing, quality craftsmanship, solar solutions, and local expertise under one roof. Call 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you save big on tech.
And new posters.
Save on custom printing, too.
And,
a new chair?
A chair? Who has time to sit?
Maybe all your new clients?
Now you're talking.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you'll find huge savings on custom prints, storage, chairs, and tech. And now save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
All right. Morning Huddle 94.1. San Antonio Sports Star. Efforts are being made. I like to talk about non-sports things in this segment if you're new to the program. I like to see what's going on in the world outside of sports. Rob and I are both very diverse, cultured people.
Yeah.
And cultured people talk about things besides sports. Like we don't just talk about sports match games. We talk about
other stuff.
Important. There's a lot of important stuff that happens in the world.
Boobs and beer.
Like in Patterson City, New Jersey, there's an ordinance that would regulate public sleeping and camping in the city. The amendment, which faced significant oppositions from advocacy groups, included penalties for violations. It could reach up to $2,000 in fines, 90 days of imprisonment, and community service.
Is this because of homelessness?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So here's the question. You're telling me if I'm homeless, you're going to give me 3 hots and a cot for 90 days?
Well, there's other stuff that goes on. But, yeah, you do get the basics.
It's not a bad deal. Well, in the wintertime in New Jersey, I'd take that deal, I think.
Well, there's the rape.
And, well, I hate that.
It's a little rapey.
But you could get raped being homeless, right?
It's true. At least you might as well be warm and well-fed.
Exactly. And, a $2,000 fine, how about you just automatically debit from my account? Oh, that's right. I don't have a bank account.
I have no account nor money.
You know what I'm saying?
That's always been the age-old, and you've always heard stories about homeless dudes committing a crime just so they can go get something to eat.
I'm saying, don't threaten me with a good time, Bubba.
I like that. I look good in orange. I like those slides.
Exactly. Exactly. This is a weird story, the Dear Abby story. Dear Abby, My younger sister and I were close growing up. We didn't have many friends, but we were always playing games and having fun with each other. And at one point, my sister said she wanted to marry me when we grew up. I didn't think much of it because we were still kids, and I figured she didn't know there were different types of love. As we grew older, we did make our own friends, and today I'm engaged to my longtime girlfriend. My sister and my fiance got along great during the years we were still just boyfriend and girlfriend, but after we announced our engagement, my sister has become hostile. As it turns out, my sister took her intentions to marry me seriously, and even as we got older and she understood the difference between familial and romantic love, she carried a torch for me well into her teens. Mm-hmm. I would like my little sister to be part of the wedding because of how important she's been to me, but she stubbornly insists on winning me back from my fiance. Is there a good way to explain the reality of this situation, or are our sibling bonds done for good? Dear Terrified, your sister is in need of the services of a mental health professional to rid herself of her fixation on you.
It's a little weird, man.
She should not be part of your wedding because her presence under the circumstances could be disruptive. If she attends at all, someone should be assigned to remove her if she becomes disruptive.
She's gonna need a minder.
Perhaps your sibling bond can be reestablished later, but don't bank on it.
There's something else behind this story. There's more to this
story.
That
is extremely problematic, friend. Extremely problematic.
I've seen movies that ended better.
Now, there's some neighborhoods. Minix lives in one of these neighborhoods that I assume people drive around in golf carts. Like, you know, and
in the neighborhood?
My brother lives in a golf cart community.
Yeah. My mom lives on the beach, and a lot of them have golf carts that they ride around.
It's a life I kind of aspired to. I don't know. I don't know if I.
Well, yesterday, an adult and multiple children were hurt in a golf cart crash. Yesterday, an unregistered golf cart rolled over on its driver's side around 4:12 p.m. on a roundabout.
An unregistered.
Authorities say, it was driving on the streets.
Oh, I got you.
Authorities say 5 children between 5 and 9 were injured, and one was possibly in the driver's lap when the golf cart rolled over. The children suffered minor injuries and were turned over to responsible parents. And you know what that means.
Mom.
No.
Oh.
Police determined the driver, identified as 38-year-old Elizabeth Prohashka, was impaired during the accident and charged her with DWI, misdemeanor child abuse, failure to register a vehicle, and careless and reckless driving.
In the grand scheme of life,
wow,
how many times, in the percentage of time, of drivers behind the wheel of a golf cart are sober? I would say most of the time when you're driving a golf cart.
Very rarely.
You've had at least 2 beers.
But when you're doing that on the golf course, I don't think you can get a DUI.
I know. So you kind of get used to that.
Yeah.
Like when you drive a golf cart, I need a beer.
But then you drive in the street, it's a little bit different. You gotta follow the rules.
It's been a nice one though, a rollover. It's hard to roll those things over.
Yeah.
Never wrecked one?
No. Did you see the Ohio State?
Day got ran into the.
Oh, Ryan Day was pissed.
Did the Austin Powers try to turn the golf cart around in the tiny hall?
It wasn't. I mean, Ryan Day was in the passenger seat, and it was Will Howard and a couple other guys on the cart, and the lady just drove it right into the wall, and Ryan Day was like, "What the hell?
They try to kill us!"
And then she tried to back it up, and it was stuck, and she was like, "All right, we're gonna walk," and they had to walk to the press conference,
and all those cameras were on her. Like, okay, we'll just ripcord. We're walking.
A woman in Pennsylvania said, I think there's an intruder outside our house. And
to whom was she speaking?
Her husband.
Okay.
And her husband, who is clearly a man of action, said, I'll take care of this. So what'd he do? Goes outside, shoots him. Boom.
Protecting his woman.
That's right.
What?
Now, what the wife failed to mention was that she had made an Instacart order.
Oh.
And the quote-unquote intruder was the Instacart delivery person that she called and requested to bring groceries to her house.
That's an occupational hazard.
Investigators learned that she had ordered the groceries through Instacart that evening, but didn't alert her husband that a delivery was on its way. When the Instacart driver arrived, the wife saw an alert from the home security camera system that movement was detected near the garage. She told police she believed someone was trying to break into a utility trailer on the property. So he grabbed his gun, went outside to confront the criminal, and shot him in the leg. Now, here's what I want to know.
Didn't kill him.
Who should be charged here?
The guy. Yeah. The shooter.
Man.
I don't know what their castle doctrine is in Pennsylvania.
I don't
know
either.
if there's a duty to flee or you have the right to protect at all costs, but it's not her fault.
Now,
I mean, it's kind of her fault, but she's not going to be liable.
Yeah, she's not, but
unless
it is kind of her fault.
Unless she's trying to set this dude up to murder this guy.
Now, the husband goes out, sees the individual. There was no verbal confrontation.
Oh, no, he's going down.
He just shoots. The Instacart driver, it says, ran back to his car. I'm guessing he sort of drug his leg back to the car, where his wife and child were waiting for him.
Oh, my gosh.
They drove down the street and called 911. He was rushed to the hospital. They underwent surgery to treat his injury, but he's stable and recovering. Sabo's been arrested on a charge of recklessly endangering another person, and it's expected that more charges will be filed against him.
Probably not attempted murder, but there will be an assault in there.
Last May, a Tennessee homeowner was charged with attempted second-degree murder for shooting a Domino's pizza delivery driver who showed up at his address by mistake. April of this year, an incident involving an elderly homeowner in Ohio and an Uber driver that turned deadly, made national headlines. That 81-year-old William Brock was charged with murder after fatally shooting 61-year-old Lolita Hall, who was an unwitting accomplice in a scam targeting Brock. Someone contacted Brock to press him for money after telling him one of his family members was jailed. The scammer reached out to Hall to request her to pick up a package at Brock's home address. Unaware of the scheme, Hall drove to the home where Brock shot her multiple times. Man, it feels like I get that the people who are doing the shooting are in the wrong, but it feels like the people who are setting these shooters up for failure should also kind of be liable.
Well, whoever did that is certainly, it's called the parties doctrine, the law of parties. Even though you didn't pull the trigger, you were part of this.
You're part of this thing. You're the reason why this happened.
Yeah. Now, the girl that told the boyfriend, hey, go shoot the dude outside, I think she could plead and testify that I was genuinely afraid if that was the case. I thought that she wasn't telling him to go shoot him, just go check out. There's somebody out there, and the guy just shot him. He's going to go down. She won't. But anybody who was behind sitting the Uber driver to handle the dirty black market or the blackmail stuff, that guy's going down.
And finally, Chris Brown,
always good,
has sued Warner Brothers for $500 million.
Don't make him mad.
Over defamatory claims against him in the 2024 film Chris Brown, A History of Violence.
Don't sue me, Chris.
Chris Brown is suing Warner Brothers for making defamatory claims against him regarding sexual assault. It features a Jane Doe who sued him for allegedly drugging and assaulting her at a party in 2020 on Diddy's yacht. In 2009, Brown obviously assaulted Rihanna before the Grammy Awards, very famously. The film additionally details Brown smashing a window at Good Morning America in 2011.
Remember that?
Throwing a brick through his mother's windshield in 2013, punching a female fan in 2016, and allegations of verbal and physical abuse and death threats by another ex-girlfriend, Karrueche Tran.
What?
That's her name. Brown was, I might be saying that wrong. Brown was also sued by his ex-manager in 2016, who said Brown punched him multiple times in the head and neck. They settled out of court in 2019.
Not a bad guy,
in July, 4 concert-goers claimed Brown and his entourage attacked and brutally beat them after a concert, and they're all awaiting trial. So while he's at court, he's like, well, I might as well, file my own lawsuit, and, maybe they'll call me over to the other side of the bench and say, hey, maybe I can get some, help me pay off some of these people I've been kicking ass on all these years.
Be real careful, man. Eventually, you get got.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to get got, Chris.
So there you go. That's what's going on. Just so you guys now are aware of what's going on in the world outside of sports, you're now more cultured because Rob and I we are men of culture.
Yes.
If nothing else.
We are the filter that culls out the important and offbeat things in the world today. That's what we do.
And what we'll do next is help you become degenerate gamblers when we do the Daily Lines. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I got to tell you guys about Game Day Men's Health. And everybody gets to a certain point where you don't feel the way you used to. It's tougher to get out of bed in the morning. It's tougher to go to the gym. It's tougher to, get it going, if you know what I mean. Boing, boing. But don't worry. There's a solution to those problems. Often it's testosterone, and Game Day Men's Health, they want to help you. They're conveniently located, first of all, 250 East Bassey Road, right there in the quarry. And guys, there's no need to feel shame about this. It happens to every guy. And for me, the biggest issue was I didn't want any inconveniences. Like my testosterone was at a level where it was good enough to get by. It could have been better. But I was like, well, if it can be better, that's great. But I just don't want to have to waste a bunch of time to make it a little bit better. Well, they make it easy. You go in, you get your blood drawn, they test it, then they're going to go over your results, give you your best options, go over all your options, you pick what you want. They treat you on the spot, boom, you're out the door. I did all this in an hour. No time wasting, just a great experience there at Game Day Men's Health. Don't settle. Be the best version of yourself. Why waste time with bad sleep, bad sex, bad energy? It can all be better, man. Call Game Day, 210-900-3691. That's 210-900-3691. Feel better, be better. It's Game Day.
What is GMTVCC? That's a mouthful, but translation for GMTVCC.com is Give Me the VIN Classic and Collector Cars. It's a brand new buying division of Give Me the VIN, but it's for classic and collector cars. Experienced pro buyers will appraise an offer on your 1970 Hemi Cuda or 1988 Fox Body Mustang or your granddad's old 1985 square body Chevy truck. GMTVCC.com is where you go to get real money for classic and collector cars to get paid now. That's GMTVCC.com, brought to you by Give Me the VIN.
George gets justice.
At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, we are the ones you can trust. With over 100 years of combined experience, we are committed to helping people in our local community. Get George Salinas Injury Lawyers and put our experience to work for you and your case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Paramount Plus is your streaming home for the NFL playoffs on CBS. It all comes down to this. As the Chiefs host the Bills in the AFC Championship presented by Intuit TurboTax. A trip to New Orleans is on the line. Sunday at 6:30 Eastern, streaming live on Paramount Plus.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
They've got great food here at the Root Pub.
You forgot about the bison burger.
I didn't forget about it necessarily, no, but a chicken sandwich sounded better than a beef sandwich. Does that make sense?
Well, no, because bison isn't necessarily beef.
Well, so what would another word for bison be? I mean, you don't say I want a cow burger. Give me the similar to beef burger. Think they know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, this is Greeny. Join me today at 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle 94.1. We're asking the big important questions here.
If you're curious if bison is beef, it is not.
Beef has to be from
it's
a cow,
type
right?
of red meat that comes from bovine. Bison is also known as buffalo. So it's bovine, but it is not beef.
Like bovine is equivalent to poultry, right?
I think that would be the proper
They come
term.
from the same family, but they're not the same
So
creature.
You say bison if you're eating. It's a bison rib.
Or a bison burger.
Steak
Yeah.
burger.
I think that makes sense.
There you go, Joe. A little knowledge for you.
Yeah. And Rob didn't Google that at all. He knew
No,
it.
not at all. That just came off right.
He knew
I got
it.
that from my FFA training.
Yeah, like Rob heard that promo and was like, God, Joe's so uneducated and so uncultured.
You'd think a guy from Alice, Texas would have a pretty good idea of the difference between beef and bison.
But again, Rob, that's what makes our show, that's what differentiates us, is we're very cultured.
We're men of letters. We're learned.
In ways that, some people aren't. And that's,
some people.
Some people, no big deal. It's
well, there's them that has
education.
and them that have not.
Education's not for everybody. You know what I
West
mean?
Campus. And when you meet people from that went to South San West Campus, you think learned and men of letters.
I went to a music college.
So there you go.
Very well educated.
A music college.
Went to a music college in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm very, very highly educated.
I'm a man of letters.
That's right. All right. Let's take a look at the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We talked about some of the college basketball games yesterday, including that Houston-Utah game, which was, again, it was a massive spread. It's like it's hard to bet those kinds of games. Like you're talking about a conference game where one team is favored by 18 points or whatever, but the total in that game, like when we talked about the Alabama game the other day, and it was like sometimes totals get so high that even though the game's going to go that way,
it's too big.
It's not smart to bet it because all it takes is a little bit to go wrong for you to miss it. And that's what that UH game was for me yesterday. It's like the total's 133.5, right? You think that's a pretty low total. Like you if Houston does anything on offense, that thing could just go over real easy. But when Utah only scores 36 points.
And there's only 2 or 3 teams in college basketball that you can rely on the defense to help you get the over, or get the under. I mean, it's not they can go shut a team down just by doing that. They don't even have to get the buckets.
I mean, that's such an absurd number. Do you know what the turnover battle looked like in this game?
You'd have to lose a game the way that they lost. You'd have to play with a minimum of 20 turnovers. Minimum. But the problem is you probably didn't have enough possessions to have 20 turnovers. But 20 to 25 would be my number.
26 to 5 was the turnover differential between these two teams.
26 turnovers. I don't know how we lost, Coach.
Have you ever coached a team that had 26 turnovers in a game?
Well, sadly, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Everybody has. But, yeah, and you go, I don't know how we lost. You don't know how we lost.
That's incredible. Incredible that you could lose a game like that. Well, hopefully we've got more competitive games on the docket today.
Not a lot of college tonight, though.
No, not again. Now we're at the part of the week where the big games get played on Tuesday and Saturday.
Yep.
Saturday's meat day for, and especially now that college football's over, Saturday's going to own, college basketball's going to own Saturdays. So that's the bright side here. But there are a couple top 25 teams in action. Wichita is at Memphis. Memphis, a 12.5-point favorite. Wichita struggling so far in American play. They're just 1-4. Memphis is pretty good.
Yeah, they're a good team. But that's a
12.5's a big number, man.
And Wichita scores over 70 a game. They go get buckets, but they've been doing it against lessers. So it's a number that I would, if I was going to play, and I'm not, I'd like Memphis.
And Illinois hosts Maryland. Illinois 7.5-point favorites. I think Illinois is the best team in the Big Ten. I might be wrong.
No,
they're in the discussion though. But
they have the player of the year,
and now they're healthy. Yeah, I like Illinois to blow Maryland out. So give me the Illini to get the job done. In the Association of National Basketball Teams, got a handful of games tonight, including the early tip for your San Antonio Spurs.
Got us a businessman special today.
They're playing in Paris. The Spurs 3.5-point dogs against the Indiana Pacers. I'm guessing it's gonna feel like a Spurs crowd.
They ain't winning.
3.5 feels a little short to me, given the way the Spurs have played lately and the quality of team that the Pacers are. I get the love for Wemby, and like I said, it's going to be certainly a Spurs friendly crowd, but I don't think it really matters. I just think the Pacers are a lot better right now, and the Spurs feel, unfortunately, like they're spiraling.
And even if they were playing well, you go over to Paris and you're putting on events, and Victor's taking the fam over to the house, and they're eating nice restaurants, and they're doing all the Victor Wemby, I'm a biggest thing in France. It's going to be real hard to focus in on this one. I like our chances in the next one when we play them again day after tomorrow. But right now, I just don't think there's too much going on for them to be focused. And on the other side of this, Sohan's game time, so I don't know if he's going to play. And they're not playing very well on top of all that.
But let's also factor in, anytime you're doing something that's out of the normal, you want a coach who's more experienced, more worldly. Rick Carlisle is going to be able to handle this situation a lot better than I think young Mitch is going to be able to handle it.
There's nobody calling all the Pacers out to go coach the little French kids. I mean, Wemby has been pulled in every different direction, and every time he sets foot outside, it's just a whole different world for this young team. And you're right, Carlisle, these guys are practicing out of town.
Yeah.
This is a business trip.
Gilbert says Victor will probably get all the calls in these games. The problem with the way Victor plays is he doesn't play a game that warrants getting calls.
You got to get in the paint.
That's what I complain about. Like, dude, if you had played like a giant, you'd get these calls, but he just doesn't. Blazers +8 at Orlando. Blazers off a big upset win the other night. They got another one in them against the Magic.
No.
Magic blow them out.
They have another purpose to do the Portland Trail Blazers. That was a mistake. They don't want to win any games.
I cannot imagine betting on the Miami Heat right now, but if you want to, you'll get 7.5 points with them going to Milwaukee. I almost bet the Heat last week or last game, actually, and then Tyler Hero was announced out, and I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah,
no thanks. I don't know what their health situation is. I know they don't have Jimmy Butler. They're a mess right now. I'm steering clear of them. Raptors are at the Hawks. Hawks laying 4.5 at home.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, well, Toronto stinks.
Yeah, but that 4.5 seems small.
No Risa for the Hawks, remember. So for whatever that's worth. The Dallas Mavericks on a back-to-back, man, shorthanded on a back-to-back, going to play the best team in the NBA. Thunder -13.5.
Not enough. I take them
Thunder,
and the points.
The Thunder may blow that team
they're
out
running
of the
on
water.
hot right now. Yeah, they look good.
I'll tell you where my money's going today, to the Sacramento Kings, catching 8.5 points in Denver. I know Denver's playing well, but I just told you Sacramento's the hottest team in the league right now.
But there's always a team that was bad and then gets hot. They tend to look for an off-ramp. They're like, we need a night off. We've been working real hard for the last week. They've won 8 straight. This feels like an exit to the take a leak. Let's go. Let's take a leak and go get some Funyuns. This is those kind of games where Sacramento's better. They're getting better, and they're starting to believe they're where they need to be. I don't like roadies in Denver.
All right,
I'm just not going to touch it.
Even with almost double digits,
I'm not going to trust Sacramento to keep it close.
The Wizards are 14-point favorites at the Clippers, or 14-point dogs at the Clippers. Pardon me. The Wizards 14-point. That makes no sense. And the Bulls 1.5 dogs in Golden State.
Boy, the Bulls look like they're shopping Kobe White. It looks like, and Levine is mentioned in every trade, especially when we're dealing with the money that's going on in Phoenix, that he's got a cap number that actually fits with Bradley Beal's. So I've seen Chicago with that name mentioned as the 5-team deals, that Levine and Beal's money close enough to where it could actually be 1-for-1 or at least involved in other stuff. Kobe White is a guy to look at. I like that young point guard. I think that's a guy that, that I'm not saying he's a Spur in mentality, but he's a young point guard that has got a big upside, that if they're shopping him, and this is where I want to see where the Spurs are mentally, because there's some opportunity out there right now. You can go get some dudes on the cheap.
And the two most revered franchises in the NBA go head-to-head tonight. The Celtics are at the Lakers. Celtics 5-point favorites on the road.
Yeah.
That sounds about right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Lakers are so confusing to me. I see them some nights. I'm like, wow, this team, like LeBron. The LeBron is washed argument is so weird to me, because LeBron is still clearly like one of the 20 best players in the league.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's 40 years old and is still one of the 20 best players in the league to me is like, it's incredible. Yeah. So when people say he's washed, I'm like, I don't understand. Like, is he one of the 5 best players in the league anymore? No. But it's like, at what point? No one was, I mean, and most of the people who call him washed are Jordan, you know, they just want to make everything. But if you don't think Jordan was more washed in D.C. than LeBron is now, you're not being realistic. Like,
oh, yeah. By the end of Jordan's career, it wasn't, I mean, he wasn't even close. LeBron still has maintained.
And is older than Jordan was when he stopped playing.
And actually has grown his game.
Adjusted.
He's a more rounded player than he ever was. To me, the story isn't so much the Lakers, because, if he shows up to play and Davis comes to play and they hit a couple jump shots, they can beat anybody, but they just can't do it on a regular basis. It's Boston being really quiet.
Yeah.
That's the best thing for Boston right now. Just, you don't got to be in the news. You don't have to be on the highlight reel. Just win your games and go try to get the back-to-back. That's all that we should be hearing from Boston. Stay healthy, stay out of the news, and go win. And I see them kind of slip into L.A., a 5-point favorite. That's the best thing you can hear for the Celtics. Don't talk about us. We'll see you in April.
Now, for you late-night folks, not that I would ever stay up this late, but Novak Djokovic and Alexander Zverev in the semifinals of the Aussie Open tonight. Joker, a -165 favorite. And not that I would ever stay up for this, but at 2:30 tomorrow morning, Jannik Sinner and Ben Shelton. Sinner a -2,000 favorite in the other semifinal.
I couldn't pick these guys out of the lineup, man.
It's Djokovic and Sinner. Is what we got to go with here. And obviously the semifinals for the women happened last night. Ariana Sabalenka and Madison Keys are your finalists for the Wimbledon crown. That'll
so we
be
got
played,
an American playing at least.
That'll be at 2:40 in the morning on Saturday morning.
I will miss it.
What?
I'm going to miss it, sadly.
You're not going to be chanting your team.
No,
USA, USA,
no, I only
USA.
watch mixed doubles. That's all I care about.
Okay.
It's closer to pickleball.
That's
That's really all that matters.
That's true. Yeah, mixed doubles never gets enough love.
It needs more love.
I'm with you on that. And yeah, that's something that I am going to push for in the next life is more.
I am not a tennis fan. I haven't been in 25 years. But on my sporting bucket list, the U.S. Open and Wimbledon are still one of those things that I will do.
Not the French Open?
That's silly. That's stupid. The French Open is silly. I'd rather go see tennis played on ice.
Okay.
At least their shoes don't get all dirty. That's just what sport goes, you know what we're going to do this week? We're going to put you on something. I know that being able to stop on a dime is really important to this sport, so we're going to take that away from you. You don't get to stop now. We're going to reward the sliders one time a year.
Yeah.
No other sport goes, you know what, this week, basketball is normally played on wood. This week, grass.
And these are the tournament started this morning, but the current odds on the Farmers Insurance Open being played in Torrey Pines.
Ever played Torrey Pines?
No. What am I, an elite?
No, it's a Muni.
Yeah, it is affordable.
A Muni in San Diego. I've actually played Torrey Pines.
Ludwig Oberg, who is leading the tournament right now at 9 under, is now the favorite to win the tournament at +175. Hideki Matsuyama at 6-1. Sungjae M 14-1. Something named Danny Walker is 18-1. I don't think that's. I think he's a made-up person.
Are the other guys playing?
They're the guys of note,
like the top 10 golfers in the world. Those guys,
like Tony Finau is now 65-1, which tells me Tony Finau played a bad first round. Zach Johnson is now 80-1. Zach Johnson didn't have a good first round, so when these odds are posted now, it's like, yeah, you can tell the guys who blew it on day one,
who enjoyed the Gaslight District.
Yeah, Jason Day, 200-1 right now. I'm guessing Jason Day didn't have a good Thursday, is what it boils down to. So there you go. That's your latest odds on the Farmers Insurance Open. So that's the Daily Lines, brought to you by SA Card House, my good friends over at 281 and Bitters, where you can make money at all hours of the night.
You were only recently there.
All hours. I was recently there, as recently as today. I've been there.
4 days down, baby. 1 to go. And,
oh, man. Tomorrow's we're going to talk so much football tomorrow, your head's going to spin around in a circle, and I can't wait for it. I'm here for it, baby.
I think Sunday's going to be a good day of football. I don't think we're going to be let down.
Is it going to be a good day for everybody, or will it be a good day for me?
I think it'll be a good day for you, but I think we got two good games coming. I don't see a blowout coming.
Okay.
I don't feel a blowout. Maybe the Commanders can get folded, but I don't think so.
I think the Commanders are going to cover.
I hope so. I want the narratives to go, but I just felt like after last week, what could have been, we're not going to,
I guess
the spectacular was coming and we didn't get it.
I guess I could have mentioned the latest odds. Commanders +6 in Philly, Buffalo +1.5 in Kansas City. The total in both games, 47.5.
Does that number scare you as a Buffalo fan?
What?
People are liking you?
That +1.5?
Yeah.
No, I think all year long. Well, the Bills are dogs, but I think all year long.
But they're liking you on the road.
I think the Bills have been the better team all year.
Yeah.
So I think that the number's right. I'm betting Bills money line +105. Bills are winning.
Whatever it was, you'd be on the money line.
I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it. All right, friends. Blitz comes up at 2. Thanks for riding with us today. We'll see you tomorrow on a Football Friday. You guys be safe out there.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
Hey guys, AJ from the Morning Huddle for SA Card House, San Antonio's premier card house located at 281 in Bitters. They have tournaments going every day. I'm playing in a lot of those tournaments, and I'll make you a deal. You meet me on the tables, you knock me out of that tournament, we'll refund your entry for that day. All you got to do is take me out of the tournament, and you're going to get your money back. 281 in Bitters, great atmosphere, great dealers, great vibes at SA Card House, great food at Foster's Bar and Grill. Don't miss it. I will see you on the tables.
Get in zone, AutoZone.